Johnson Auto Family.
Want a simple New Year's resolution that's guaranteed to succeed? I'm talking about doing what I did and reversing that clock on hair loss. The same quick, simple one-day hair loss treatment I received from Advanced Hair begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's even guaranteed to grow for life. You decide how much and where, and Advanced Hair does the rest. I'm speaking from personal experience. The results have been truly life-changing, and Advanced Hair has helped tens of thousands of folks just like you and me. It's why world-class Dr. Perungo and Advanced Hair are the winners of the 425 Business of the Year. So celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get 250 free hair grafts and $250 off. Schedule your free consultation at 425-449-8185. See what meeting your New Year's resolution could look like with the before and afters at advancedhair.com. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But if you can't afford treatment, can't work, or can't feed your family, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, and I am proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. Over the last 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed nearly $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can help us make a difference in our community. Join us on February the 1st for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, inspiration, and community support at the historic Hollywood Schoolhouse in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on February the 1st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases. I've found that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Your favorite Seattle sports show is available anywhere you go through the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Full shows and interviews, exclusive video and articles from the home of the Seahawks and Mariners.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The AP 2024 All-Pro team has been announced. No Seahawks made the list, though Leonard Williams, Devin Witherspoon, Michael Dixon, Julian Love, and Jackson Smith-Njigba all received votes. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts has cleared concussion protocol and will start against the Packers Sunday afternoon. Hurts was a full participant in practice yesterday. Finally, Ohio State and Texas meet in the Cotton Bowl today. Winner set to face off against Notre Dame in the College Football Playoff Championship.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. It's a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You know what I can't stop saying, and I was saying it during show prep? The Snoqualmie Casino
Light as a
and
feather, stiff as a board.
What?
That's what you're thinking? Light as a feather, stiff as a board?
No, why were you thinking that?
I don't know. It just popped in my head right now.
No, I was thinking Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel and Casino and Hotel. It's how I've just been saying it the whole time. Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel and Casino and Hotel.
They know what it is. They know what you're getting.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's Wild Card Weekend, 6 games over 3 days. Who's under the most pressure? Where's the high-scoring gem? Where's the defense wins championship matchup? And what's the can't-miss game? We're going to go over everything. So let's go ahead and get started. Who is under the most pressure this weekend, team or player bump?
I've been saying his name all year.
Oh, God.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
Mr. Sam Darnold, Mr. USC, Mr. Jets got me all messed up.
Mr. Seeing Ghosts.
Mr. Seeing Ghosts, Mr. Bounce Back it's got to be Sam Darnold because he's got the most at stake. He's got some money to make. Imagine if he goes on a run and he makes it to the conference championship game. My man would have the biggest come up I've seen in the last, 10 years in the NFL. So I'm looking at the Vikings because it's just hard to believe in it. The last time I saw the Vikings play this well and I started to believe Dante Culpepper and them dudes were out there getting it done. It's big for Minnesota. They've never won a Super Bowl. Their fan base is loyal. I went to Minnesota one time. That was the first time I saw every building downtown connected by a bridge because it's so cold. They're like, look, you just walk through these tunnels. You got to walk outside.
Oh, what?
Right? That's how miserable it is in Minnesota at times. It's got to be Sam Darnold. You got Justin Jefferson. You got Addison. This team's ready to go. Kevin O'Connell's gone. It's the Vikings.
I think it's cool he can see ghosts. Call him Haley Joel.
Do you believe in ghosts?
He's a medium.
I don't know. Can we take a 10-second pause? I don't think I do. Like at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday, I don't believe in ghosts. At 3 a.m. on that Thursday, if I hear a weird noise and I see like a jacket hanging on a door that looks shady, I believe.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. Yeah, and that's probably how Sam feels. You know what I mean? Against a bad defensive line with everyone healthy up front, it's 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. you hear a creaky house in a creepy 3 a.m. territory when you're facing off against a really good defense. Different story.
Yeah, different story. I'm with you 100%.
Different things happening.
I'm with you. What you got?
I have an answer that you've already said. This is for a previous 4-down territory, but I just really agree with it, and it's Lamar Jackson. I think that I don't necessarily think it's unfair that neither he nor Josh have appeared in a Super Bowl, and yet so many people point to Lamar as like, well, why haven't you done it? Because you answered the question. I threw it your way. You were like, well, Lamar's a 2-time MVP. Lamar's done amazing things in the regular season. Josh is only just kind of falling into it, and Josh will probably face those questions in the coming years if he continues to perform. I was looking at Lamar's regular season versus postseason. I mean, regular season this year, he's got 41 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. That's bonkers insane, and I cannot believe it. Postseason appearances, he's got 6 touchdowns to 6 interceptions and like a 55% completion percentage. Like, he's not been electric. In the 2023 playoffs.
Last year wasn't his fault.
Last year wasn't his fault.
Monk called a horrible game.
But listen, last year, he got the most first downs with his legs than ever before. He had 9 first downs on scrambles or designed runs. And then they just kind of went away from it at some point in the championship game. This was over the course of the playoffs. At some point in the championship game, it's like, why? Look how productive he was at moving the chains. What are you doing? I know. Very weird. But I do think that he faces that criticism. I've seen it on our text line. I see it on Twitter. I see it on forums. I see it everywhere from any fan base. It's just kind of that like, well, is he an MVP in the postseason? It's the same thing, honestly, like Peyton Manning would face all the time. The constant questions of whether or not he was clutch in the postseason until he finally won.
True. I think Josh Allen needs that same smoke, though. It's crazy how Lamar Jackson gets critiqued. It feels differently than Josh Allen. Maybe it's a privilege that he's critiqued that way because people see the potential in him and they assume or expect him to win a championship. He's had the best regular season a quarterback has ever had in the NFL. Ever. 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 915 yards on the ground. It's the best regular season we've ever seen out of a quarterback, and he's not going to win the MVP. But because you've had that season, you got to back it up. I like that that you put Lamar out there. It's different type of pressure expectations.
Yeah.
With Sam, it's like you gotta prove that you're for real. Are you a one-trick pony? Is this a joke? Is this a dream? Am I going to wake up? With Lamar, it's, okay, we've seen this before. Now you got to go out and do it when it absolutely matters. The messed up part about this is I filled in my bracket. I got them winning. But something tells me it's not going to happen. And I feel bad for Lamar because if it doesn't happen now, it won't happen. You got one of the best running backs of all time in the backfield. They have to load the box and put 7 guys in there so you're able to throw the football. If you don't get it done this year, I don't know if you ever will.
Can I say one final thing about Lamar versus Josh before we move on to our next kind of focus for the wild card weekend here? The last thing I want to say, I understand the argument of Josh having overall fewer weapons than Lamar, and so his season is seemingly more impressive. And I can even get behind it. Like, I would be totally fine with Josh Allen winning MVP. And I took Josh Allen yesterday as my first player off the board when we were going through making like our kind of like fantasy picks for all the current playoff picture players. That being said, we talk about Josh Allen like he's playing with the Raiders or like he's been thrown the Patriots roster. Like, yes, he does not have a top-tier receiver. He doesn't have Diggs anymore. He doesn't have Derrick Henry. He does have a better offensive line than Lamar Jackson. In fact, the Bills graded out as I think the third or fourth best offensive line in football from Pro Football Focus. Take that with a grain of salt if you aren't big on Pro Football Focus grades, but it's not like he's playing with a bunch of nobodies. He's just not playing with a bunch of first-team All-Pros. There is a big difference there. Let's not act like they threw him on a nobody roster. They threw him on like a team that did not have a top 5 roster but was nowhere near the worst team in football. I want to push back against that narrative a tiny bit.
I mean, yeah, I feel you. Their best position is probably tight ends. They got 2 tight ends over there that are pretty good, and even they're putting up 400 yards and 300 yards there. Khalil Shakir is a good wide out. He has 821. Keon Coleman is I think a rising star in the league. He'll be good. No, he doesn't have nobodies over there, but you look at everyone else who's in the playoffs, you can name a star on offense that's not a quarterback for almost every single team that's in this deal.
Fair.
So I think that is what makes it impressive for the voters when it comes to Josh Allen and what he's doing. Me personally, if I had a vote, I'm voting for Lamar. It's the greatest season we've seen out of a quarterback, and he's not going to get it because of the talent that he has over there. They're saying, well, he's only throwing the football a lot because he has Derrick Henry, and you have to load the box. That is true. You have to load the box against Derrick Henry. So it's almost unfair the way that he's being judged. But end of the day, I think you're right. Lamar has the most pressure when it comes to expectations. You have to get it done. I think Sam Darnold has the most pressure when it comes to defining who you are for real. You have to prove. Everyone knows Lamar is great. No one's denying that. But for some reason, he gets into the playoffs and things happen. With Sam Darnold is, I don't know if I can believe in this or not. It's like when I see a freshman play well his freshman year, I go, all right, sophomore, let's see what you do your sophomore year. That's the way I'm looking at Sam Darnold.
Next up for our Wild Card Weekend preview, the can't miss game. You got 6 games on the schedule here, 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 Monday night. Obviously, you guys have busy weekends. You're not going to be able to catch all of these. So if we're saying make this one appointment viewing, which one are you looking at?
Appointment viewing.
I have the schedule.
Games this weekend. Yeah. Thanks for showing me the schedule, Stacy. You know I can't see that far.
I zoomed in for you. See how I zoomed in to like 100? I'm at 125%.
That's all good. I have a desktop
but then
in front
I put
of
it
me.
150.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I would have to say, for me, honestly, it's Monday Night Football.
Really? That's not what I thought you would say.
And I know people, get off of Sam Darnold. Okay, all right, this is the last time I'll talk about him. Probably not, but listen, Minnesota against Los Angeles, because I'm looking at the Rams, and I'm starting to believe in him. I'm starting to believe that McVay has this secret sauce that he gives to the team at the end of the year, and they start to play well. And then I'm looking at Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell, 39 years old, head coach. He's turned this thing around. Can he get his team to execute in the playoffs? It's Monday Night Football. Everybody's going to be watching this game. It's prove it. And you have the guy who started the young head coach wave in McVay. How old is McVay now? He got to be at least 40 now.
No, I think he's 37, 38. I think he's a little older than Mike McDonald.
Goodness gracious. So he started the young
38.
quarterback wave. He's 38? Dang. Younger than me.
You're washed. I knew you were going to say.
He started the young quarterback wave, head coach wave, and we're seeing it all across the league. You got a 37-year-old here. You got O'Connell, who's 39. They have similar offenses. I'm looking at that game. I think that's a good culminating game for the first weekend of playoffs.
I am not shocked to hear you say that game. I did think you would go with Sunday afternoon's matchup. Green Bay Packers at Eagles. Jalen Hurts, clear concussion protocol. He's officially playing. I don't know how many people really doubted that he would play. There was some concern, but throw that concern out the window. So now you're looking at a good Green Bay Packers team against a very good Philadelphia Eagles team. 1:30 p.m. Saquon Barkley didn't get a chance to break Eric Dickerson's regular season rushing record in Week 18. Does he have a chance to have an explosive game against Green Bay? We shall see. I'm so excited to see what he can do. It's rare that you have a running back that outshines your quarterback, but that's who I'm watching on Sunday afternoon. Obviously, there are questions about Jordan Love and whether or not he can meet the moment, but the Packers have been just this really rowdy team at times and really stubborn, and this is a phenomenal matchup. I can't wait. This is my can't miss. If you're not doing anything Sunday afternoon, find a bar, hang out with some friends, do whatever. This is mine.
Yeah, I like that. I like that matchup. Can Philly running back? When's the last time they won the Super Bowl, Curtis? Was that 17?
2017. Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP.
Nick Foles.
Bear down.
There you go. I set you up beautifully for that.
Thank you.
Can Philly build off of just the year that Barkley has had? He almost beats Dickerson's record, right? You sit him out that last week for what? If you go out and you lose that first round,
right,
and you set your boy,
for
so you
what?
set your boy, you don't get the record, and you lose in the first round, that season will be a complete disaster. I think they're going to win this ball game. I think that the Green Bay Packers are young. Last year, they shocked everybody, got into the playoffs. I believe they beat the Dallas Cowboys in the first week of the playoffs, and they're a young, up-and-coming team, and I think they still got some things to do. They lost a downfield threat in Christian Watson. He has an ACL thing. That's going to be all done. Philly should be favored to win this game. I'm sure Vegas has them winning this game. Let me check real quick. Yeah, they got them by 5 points. But yeah, no, that's a good one because this is a second round matchup. This shouldn't be a first round matchup.
Exactly.
That just tells you how crazy the NFC North is. That the Green Bay Packers have to play the Eagles.
This feels like a divisional game. I totally agree with you. All right, let's get to likeliest first upset. The likely first upset we'll see this weekend is going to be what game?
I said it yesterday. What did I say yesterday?
No, you did not really mean that,
I did.
though.
Denver!
You didn't.
Denver's going to get it done.
This is Sunday morning.
Denver's
Denver Broncos
done.
at Bills.
At the Bills.
No.
Bo Nix and them.
Stop.
Going to get it done.
You're ridiculous.
Watch. I'm telling you. And the reason why I think this is because Josh Allen has had to do everything for this team.
Okay. That's
Absolutely
true.
everything.
Fair.
And it's hard when you keep going back to the well. The well's going to dry up eventually. And I don't think he's going to win a Super Bowl this year. I don't think he's getting to the conference championship this year. Mark my words. The Denver Broncos, with that solid defense they have, Bo Nix is going to shock the world, and he's going to play better than Josh Allen in his house, make a sandwich in his kitchen, and they are going to get it done because eventually, man, you just can't do it all. My man Josh Allen needs some help, and I think there's more help with the Denver Broncos than it is over there with Josh Allen.
I took the boring answer with the final game. I think we're going to go chalk for the most part as far as favorites. Not all of the favorites are the hosting teams. I'm taking Chargers over Houston. I'm taking Baltimore, who's hosting, obviously, the Steelers.
Hold on. You said one big upset.
Yeah.
You just named two.
No.
What's your go-to?
Chargers wouldn't be. I'm taking the favored Chargers.
Okay.
I'm taking the favored Ravens. I'm taking the favored Bills. I'm taking the favored Eagles. I'm taking the favored Commanders. And I think I'm taking the Rams over the Vikings. On my bracket, I took the Vikings. So
why you lying?
this would ruin my bracket.
Why are you lying then?
Because if you have to ask me, because I think it's actually going to be a pretty predictable weekend, but if you had to ask me which of these feels like the likeliest upset, I think it's going to be the Rams over the Vikings.
I can see it.
You know, everything else, I'm like, I can see the potential case, but like I really don't believe it. Like I really don't believe that the Broncos are going to beat the Bills. You get full bragging rights. Come on in here on Monday and open the show by saying I'm a prophet.
Hey, I'm not even going to come on Monday. I'm going to ask if I can come on Sunday and just do 10 minutes.
You guys care if I do like a quick Sunday afternoon show, just interrupt national programming and, hey, this is Michael Bumpus here. Just wanted to brag and say that I did take the Denver Broncos over the Bills. No, I think it's going to be pretty boring, pretty predictable. But the Rams are one of those really weird teams where none of their stats are necessarily better than the Vikings. The Vikings were a top 10 scoring offense, top 10 scoring defense. They are very well-rounded, very good, and have been for the most part very consistent. They are a 14-win wild card team. The Rams are the only team worse than Houston on third down efficiency. They are statistically one of the worst teams in the playoffs, but they beat the Minnesota Vikings and they beat the Bills. And like when they're at their very best, they're pretty good.
The Rams are one of the teams where you throw the stats away. You throw them away.
Yeah, you have to kind of ignore them.
And you look at who they are the last 3 or 4 weeks. They haven't scored a lot of points the last 3 or 4 weeks, but they've beaten teams and they're getting healthy. They're one of the teams, the veteran teams, even though they do have a young defensive line, that if they just get into the playoffs, things could happen. That's the message I guarantee you from Sean McVay. Let's just get to the dance. We get to the dance, we're going to pull the dime piece and shock everybody. That's what they're thinking right now. And they have a veteran quarterback in Matthew Stafford. They have Cooper Kupp and Puka over there. I don't know the status of Blake Corum, but Kyron Williams is good to go. They've just been there and done that. That's what makes the Rams scary. What makes me doubt the Vikings at times is because they haven't been there and done that.
Yeah.
And you have a quarterback who's never played at this level before. You have a offensive coordinator, a head coach who's never been in this position before. The Rams never flinched throughout the year. Not once did they flinch. They finished the season on a 5-game winning streak. Obviously, you lost to the Seahawks, but you can dress that up any way you want. You didn't play a lot of your guys. But the Rams are a team that can rely on their culture. It is established. It's been there for years now. The Vikings are the question mark, but I still think the Vikings get this one done.
It's a Football Friday, powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel and Casino. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, Notre Dame outlasted Penn State. This is how it sounded.
Snap is good. Ball's down. Kick from Jeter up, and it's good! Notre Dame takes the lead with 7 seconds left. The Irish inching closer to playing for a national championship.
What's the real headline?
Between last night's game and a potential matchup with Ohio State, I never thought it would be this easy to root for Notre Dame. Beloved underdogs.
The Irish.
The Fighting Irish.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
am I getting better? The Irish.
Well, someone told you to roll your R.
Irish.
It doesn't sound better. I don't know. Just
It
keep working
feels
on
good.
it. Keep working on it, buddy.
I played a golf tournament yesterday, and one guy comes up to me and just yells, Irish! He said it better than me, so big ups to whoever that guy was who did that. But no,
thick Irish accent.
Notre Dame is just a tough team.
Yeah.
You're down 10 points. You throw a costly interception. You get an interception of your own. It leads to the game-winning field goal. You put drives together of 8 plays, 75 yards, 10 plays, 71 yards. This is a different Notre Dame type of team. I've never seen a Notre Dame team this tough and have the will to survive and to execute. It's been fun to watch. I've never rooted for Notre Dame like this, but yeah, they got my vote.
And that late interception was a game changer, right?
Yeah.
I found myself rooting for Notre Dame, and then so obviously Penn State takes over, and you think they're going to kick a field goal and win it. It's done. They're done for. It's over here. And that interception completely,
Clutch.
I mean, man.
I was watching this at the Northern Republic. My buddy owns that. It's nice to have buddies that own restaurants, Stacy. It's nice. So I'm watching this, and we're going crazy watching this game. And no one has like a rooting interest. No one went to Penn. No one went to Notre Dame. But just the dramatics. This is what you want in a semifinal game. If this were a blowout, it would be so boring. So I'm hoping tonight doesn't disappoint either.
Someone said, is Irish the new water in the blood?
Hey,
See, Bump only
like it.
said water in the blood one time. He unfortunately says Irish every 5 minutes.
Irish!
What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, a day after interviewing for the Bears job, Pete Carroll will interview with the Raiders today. What's the real headline?
A team with a bad culture could probably use a culture builder.
Yeah. Uncle Pete, man. You know, Uncle Pete is that uncle that shows up to the cookout and everything just feels right. He has liquor in his hand. He has macaroni and cheese. Wifey is on point. He's dressed in his linen suit. Like, everything just feels good when Uncle Pete shows up to the party. That's what I feel like here. Wherever Pete Carroll goes, the culture's just going to be fine. He understands what it looks like to win, what it feels like to win, and I feel like he can put guys in the right spot. I'm hoping we just see him again. I want to see Pete Carroll on the sideline one more time before it's all said and done.
I think also, look, the Raiders don't necessarily have the piece at quarterback yet. Obviously, with a high draft pick, they can figure that out very quickly. But it's not like the Bears where you go, I kind of understand if they go with an offensive background. They have Caleb Williams already. They already used that number 1 overall pick. They want to get someone for their quarterback, even though they said they're going to be very creative and some names might surprise you. I would not be surprised at all to see an offensive background. With the Raiders, you just want someone that can make you healthier. Like, you just want to be healthy and unified and excited and get your fans and players together. Pete is the perfect person for that.
Pete Carroll's like drinking water, which you don't do, Stacy.
No,
flavoring.
I was going to go fill this with like a Gatorade Zero or a Diet Coke.
Okay, just try water.
Probably a Diet Coke.
And
Water's good.
Pete Carroll is water. He's going to cleanse you. He's going to make everything feel all right. He's going to help you bounce back after you've had a long night. That's exactly what Vegas needs. But the thing about Pete Carroll is he doesn't fit what you think of when you think of the Raiders. You think of the bad boys. You think of being brash. You think of smoking cigars after regular season wins. You think of Vegas. That's not Pete Carroll, but I think that his idea of how to build a football team can definitely kind of cleanse him and get him going in the right direction. I just hope he gets a job.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Ohio State and Texas meet in tonight's Cotton Bowl with a bid to face Notre Dame on the line. What's the real headline?
That means Ryan Day has potentially 2 more chances to lose his job. I don't think that's actually going to happen.
Yeah, he
but
should be
Ryan
good.
Day will be more a conversation than any individual player or team.
He should be good. I mean, Texas comes into the SEC, wins the conference.
Look, Bama lost to Michigan when you think about it.
I mean, yeah.
Washington didn't.
Sure. But Day should be fine. We shouldn't be talking about Day and him being on the hot seat. I think it's harder now to win a national championship than it's ever been before because you have to go through a gauntlet, and they've done well so far. But it's about how they win and how they lose. He can lose this game, and we can feel like, okay, his job is safe. But if they just get blown out, then we're going to have that conversation again, when in reality, we shouldn't be having that conversation. What we should be talking about is how Sarkisian has changed Texas. I don't remember Texas being this good since, who was the running back? Ricky Williams was up for Heisman back in the day. They changed it over there. This should be a good one. I hope it lives up to all the hype, and it has to live up to what happened last night because that was a beautiful game.
Of the 4 remaining teams, still including Penn State, eliminated last night, obviously, with a loss, what's your guys' favorite uni? Mine is Texas.
Your favorite uni?
Yeah, that
Favorite
burnt
uni.
orange is
I have always
pretty.
loved Texas gear.
Man.
The road jerseys specifically for Texas.
Yeah.
I like my favorite unis of all time, old school Miami.
What about
love old
of
school
Ohio
Miami.
State, Texas, Notre Dame, Penn State? Penn State also a classic.
I like Ohio State. It's strong. It's
Ohio
simple,
State.
but it's strong.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, Curtis.
The helmet stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to rank them, I'd go Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Penn State.
Matt?
I don't know how to honestly answer this question without coming off as a jerk.
I was instead going to go through and say, what color
Purple.
did Penn State? The Seahawks have been linked to yet another name for their open OC gig. He used to call plays for Russell Wilson. That's next.
When you're running the hurry up and don't have time for your favorite Seattle sports shows, listen to the podcast on demand.
How about that? Unbelievable. Who would have thought?
Every hour, every interview, every look behind the scenes.
He is your new Seahawks head coach, Mike McDonald.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Find us on seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you get podcasts.
All signs continue to point to it being the right hire.
Never miss a minute of Seattle sports, the home of the Seahawks.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Elshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Where can you kick off the new year with big savings on gig speed? Only with Xfinity, now through January 16th. Get gig internet at home for $25 a month for 1 year when you add an unlimited mobile line, which connects you to gig speed Wi-Fi on the road. Act fast today and save more than $650 over AT&T and Verizon in your first year. Plus, hurry and take advantage because right now you can also get a free 5G phone with trade-in. So save big and stay connected to what you love with fast gig speed internet and mobile. From home to hotspots, this new year, it's all about gig speeds and big savings. Don't wait and get gig speed internet. Spend less green and switch to Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com/gig savings to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Welcome Line and AT&T Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Starter Line. Xfinity internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
We at 3 Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Start the year fresh with Washington Energy's New Year, New Home Sales event. Upgrade and save 15% on energy-efficient Bryant heating systems for your home. Keep cozy and safe this winter storm season with 15% off Honeywell whole home generators. Prepare for spring with 15% off beautiful Anderson windows and reliable Simonton doors. All on sale now for a limited time. It's the New Year, New Home Sales event with Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
We are
Subaru of Puyallup.
We're stress-free.
Stress-free. Estamos libre de estrés.
We're almost 100 employees strong. We make sure the sales process is smooth.
We have video car walkthroughs.
We have stress-free pricing.
We value our customers and we value their experience.
We're like a family here. We love our community.
And support local charities. We are
Subaru
of Puyallup, your
stress-free
dealership.
35 years from manufacturing to consulting to installations. I've taken the very best from every level of replacing windows and doors and put it into our people and processes. Hi, I'm Adrian, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Over time, we've developed our exclusive Leak Armor installation to protect your home from the harsh elements, with the peace of mind of a lifetime warranty. With a 4.9-star rating on over 1,000 reviews, we're a company you can trust. Visit us today, lakewashingtonwindows.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The Seahawks are reportedly interviewing Russell Wilson's former play caller for offensive coordinator. This news broke yesterday, but Bump, you were out at it. Can I call it like a celebrity golf tournament?
Nah.
What was it? Well, what was it? For charity?
No, it was Every Country Club. Got some nice guys over there. It was for one of their pros. Michael Oley, who is retiring after like 100 years over there. He's moving to Texas. So we all came together, myself, Paul Moyer, and some other guys to just to celebrate him.
Nice.
So it was a tournament. We finished second. I've yet to win a golf tournament.
You know what's funny is you came in, and this is the difference between athletes and non-athletes. You came in, and we said, how'd you do? And you said, I finished second. And when you came in, Matt wasn't here, and I was here, and I said, oh, congratulations. And you said, it's not good enough.
No.
And then Matt came in. And Matt asked the same question. And what'd you say, Matt? You said, like, that's great.
I said, oh, nice job.
Yeah.
No. First loser. That's what we call it.
Maybe Curtis understood. Curtis, you were like,
yeah, I was like, they're there, buddy. we'll get them next time.
So you were at this golf tournament, so you obviously missed the show yesterday and missed the news that Clint Kubiak was being spoken to. We didn't talk about it a ton, so I wanted to dive back into that news and get your reaction to the Seahawks being connected to Clint for this job. Does that name intrigue you at all? First or last name. Last name's intriguing.
A little bit. It's not a name that overwhelms me.
Yeah.
When the Saints started the season off this year with the first 2 games, we thought, oh my God, what's going on with the Saints? They're doing it. And obviously Clint is the offensive coordinator over there. But when I think of the offense that he runs, it doesn't really connect with what I think Mike McDonald wants, which is a physical, downhill type of running team. That's not what we think about when we think of the New Orleans Saints, at least last year. Before that, he was the passing coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, and then before that, he was over there with the Denver Broncos. Everywhere he's been, I just don't remember them having a very physical type of run game. So, no, it's a name, and I think that he's deserving of the interview, and maybe he can convince Mike McDonald that he can do some of the things that he wants. Maybe in New Orleans, he didn't have the personnel to do the things that Mike McDonald wants. And, but it's not like he's not qualified for the position, obviously, but that's not the type of offensive scheme that I think Mike McDonald wants.
What's the type of scheme you think he wants?
I think he wants a physical. I think he wants a fullback. I think he wants to utilize tight ends, because if you can do those things, if you can run the football, have multiple sets, get your tight ends involved in the run game and the pass game, the receivers are going to eat. Because when you're able to run the football, defenses have to put 7 guys in a box, and then you got matchups on the outside. The run helps the pass helps the run. So that's what I think he's looking for. I think he's looking for what the most explosive offenses look like today, which is multiple. The only offense that really doesn't have like a real physical game right now that I can think of off the top of my head that's in the playoffs doing their thing are the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
The Chiefs are like a finesse type of team right now.
So I was actually going to ask the opposite question, which now seems so silly given you just said that, but I was going to say, of the teams in the playoffs, what offenses most look like what you think Mike McDonald would want it to look like, meaning are like most physical? Because part of that is I wonder if people hear physical offense and think, oh, it's got to be like ground and pound. Like that must mean what physical means.
No, physical is just dominating the line of scrimmage. And most of these teams who are in the playoffs, according to PFF, are like a top 10, top 12 offensive line. The Green Bay Packers play physical on the offensive line. Obviously, the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, Minnesota Vikings, even the Rams are a bit more finesse, but they play physical as well. So it's having an established identity. And I think that when we look at each of these teams, if you just look at the logo, right, each team jumps out to you and you kind of know what they're about. When I look at the Chargers, the first thing I think about is defense. That defense has done a great job turning things around. When I look at the Buffalo Bills, obviously I think of Josh Allen and him being able to run the ball and throw the ball and kind of contribute everywhere. When I think of Philadelphia, I think of balance. When I think of Tampa Bay, I think of Baker Mayfield airing the football out and Bucky Irvin. Like every team has a running back that they can count on and rely on when it's time to get dirty. And that's what I think Mike McDonald wants. So we'll see what if Kubiak gets the job, what it really looks like.
What's the meeting between trying to get that offense with scheme and with play calling versus trying to get that offense with personnel? Because I can tell you right now, as you know, I don't think the Seahawks are going from the, let's say 29th ranked offensive line to a top 5 offensive line in one season. So how does just a play caller help you become physical?
A play caller, it's a mentality. Like you instill a mentality in your offensive line, in your offense. It's like with kids, right? I try to instill just grit into my kids. And how do I do that? It's like daily messaging. It's not
beating them at chess.
Not letting them win in anything. Yeah. Talking crap to them when I'm beating them. Because I know you're going to get on the soccer field, the basketball court, the diamond, whatever, and people are going to talk to you and try to challenge you. So it's instilling that. So how does an offensive coordinator do that with his offense? It's every day. It's walking into the meeting and having your catchphrases. It's going onto the practice field and holding them accountable, starting things over when they're not as physical, being specific when it comes to hand placement, just little things that you repeat over and over and over again to where you start seeing your team kind of police themselves when it comes to that. That's when you know you got it. When you're about to correct something and a veteran corrects it for you, when you're about to address something and one of your players address it for you, that's when you know you have it. All these guys in the NFL can be physical. They're big human beings. They're strong as heck. Mm-hmm. But if you don't convince them that this is the way that you need to win, it's not going to work. Dan Campbell said after their last win in the locker room for the Lions, he goes, "You guys remembered who the F you were." And when he said that, everyone starts to cheer, right? Because it clicks, because they know what their coach expects of them and how he wants them to approach the game. And the key is keeping that intensity throughout the season. There are going to be times where intensity is down, intensity is up, but staying in that pocket. So every coordinator who gets an opportunity in the NFL is qualified. They know the game. But can you get your players to execute with the intensity that you want them to?
Well, maybe that's part of the reason they've been linked to Lions offensive line coach Hank Fraley. We're going to talk with Lomas Brown coming up at 11 about Hank's role there in Detroit. I know that they've got a lot of first-rounders on that offensive line, but he's also helped a lot of those first-rounders develop and become Pro Bowls and All-Pros. And it could be in part wanting someone with just a different background. I know that Grubb has history as an offensive line coach, but not necessarily the history that Hank has. I don't know. It's interesting. I hear a lot kind of split. Some people are like, I think Grubb just, wasn't a great play caller. And other people say, well, how can Grubb develop and how can Grubb do anything with that offensive line? He deserved to have another year here with a better offensive line to see what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
I can also understand the idea of a head coach who says, I think maybe both weren't good, that the offensive line wasn't good enough, and that, Grubb and I just have slightly different philosophies. And maybe bringing in someone else, and maybe it's an unfair advantage because they'll have a better offensive line, fingers crossed, but that bringing in someone else can help with that. I think it's fascinating, though, that idea of like, well, where's the physicality come from?
I think that Mike McDonald looked at this offensive line and realized this isn't enough, but might have felt that they weren't getting the most out of those guys, too. You got to have realistic expectations.
Yeah, you weren't squeezing the juice out.
Yeah, if you're not getting the most out of the talent that you have, what are you going to do when we get some dogs in here?
Yeah.
Again, I think Grubb should get another year. I'll say that 100 times, man.
Yeah.
But I also trust in Mike McDonald and his decision-making because so far, the decisions that he's made, the tough ones, have worked out.
Have you ever seen Nate Bargatze's stand-up?
Which one?
The newest one that just came out. He's got this bit, the bit he has about the ketchup bottle?
Yeah.
I was immediately thinking of that. He joked about how the ketchup gets to like the last third and he's like, whatever, and just throws it away. And then his wife will like squeeze all of the old ketchup into the new bottle.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you never have good ketchup. But the idea being she gets everything. She possibly can. I think that's the coordinator that Mike McDonald's hoping to get. He's like, no, you need to squeeze all the old ketchup out.
All of it.
I'm Team Nate with that one.
That's a good stand-up.
I see one brown leaf in a salad bag. It's gone.
That stand-up made me realize that I'm old because these are old man jokes that he's telling.
They were so funny.
And they were so good. I go, touche.
Oh, my God. The water meter bit.
Yeah.
So good. We're going to get back to a discussion with Lomas Brown coming up at 11 about another name linked to that OC search. Before we get to that, though, another snub for the Seahawks coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Brian Walters is with us. How are you, man?
Weekdays 2 to 7.
For the next 3 years, I feel like I'm okay with Geno. What do you think?
I would be all on board with that. And so 1, he stays healthy. 2, he takes a beating. He sits in that pocket and he gets hit about every single pass play. And he gets up again and he's firing away. So Geno, to me, is a fantastic option to have back there.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. So glad, so thankful that Molly and I made the call. Had heard so many First Mark Challenge victories, we needed to take that challenge. What does happen from your perspective when that caller, when that email, when that person reaches out to you for a First Mark Challenge victory?
That's a great question. So there's several steps we go through in the process. The first step is we're going to gather information, find out all we can about that client and what their needs are. The next step is we will go out to the market. We have dozens and dozens of carriers that will compete for the business. At the end of that process, we will then bring those findings back to the customer, show them what we found, and who the eventual winner was in that competition.
And it may be who they're with.
It might be, yes. And sometimes that's the best we can do is recommend they stay where they are, but maybe modify a few coverages to put them in a better position.
So go take that challenge today. Go be the next First Mark Challenge victory. It costs you nothing, and they will be there with you every step of the way. FirstMarkInsurance.com. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
The Lee Johnson culture to me is empowering all of your employees to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. You know, there are certain things that it doesn't matter what level of employment you are in our organization. If it's not the right thing or it doesn't feel right, they have the ability to take care of the customer and make the decision without asking a manager, without asking an owner. Yeah, the end result is they can speak to the customer with more confidence. They're definitely more confident in what they're trying to provide the customer, what the customer is trying to accomplish, and just giving them a better experience.
His name is Justin Meek. He's the leader and caretaker of more than 300 full-time employees for the Lee Johnson Auto family. Justin believes everything about doing the right thing begins and ends with Lee Johnson's company culture. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 50% off all windows plus no interest or payments for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
Want to get rid of clutter and reclaim your space? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling for the greater Seattle area. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We prioritize donating and recycling, so we'll look for opportunities to do just that instead of going to the landfill. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
The ultimate adrenaline rush is coming to you at Muckleshoot Event Center. Live MMA, January 25th, 7 p.m. The heart-pounding knockouts, the jaw-dropping submissions. Feel the fury as these fierce warriors clash in the cage and leave you screaming for more. Get your tickets now at MuckleshootCasino.com.
Muckleshoot.
When searching for the most advanced prostate cancer treatment, excellent outcomes, minimal side effects, and a short treatment course, CyberKnife at Swedish is top of the list. Swedish CyberKnife patients report a better quality of life both during and after treatment. Swedish CyberKnife treats patients from all over the Pacific Northwest. So if you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight, but without support, it can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Help us make a difference by joining us at Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and community on February the 1st at the Hollywood Schoolhouse in Woodinville. Get your tickets now for February the 1st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The AP 2024 All-Pro team has been announced. No Seahawks made the list. I mean, are you surprised? Let's start there with that news. Are you surprised at all that no Seahawks were named? Really?
Yes.
Okay, who were you most surprised by?
Leo. What are we doing?
Justice for Leonard Williams.
Justice for Leonard Williams once again. I will say that while no Seahawks made the list, Leonard Williams is among the Seahawks who did receive votes, and he received the most votes of those Seahawks. Those Seahawks included Williams, Devin Witherspoon, Michael Dixon, Julian Love, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. Here's what stumps me about Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams received, if I'm reading this correctly, like 40-plus votes overall, 8 first-place votes. That was nearly twice as many as Dexter Lawrence. I know All-Pro is clearly different from Pro Bowl. Dexter Lawrence was named first-team Pro Bowl, or was named to a Pro Bowl, and Leonard Williams was not. So this pool of very qualified, smart reporters saw Leonard Williams as being deserving at the very least.
Can I say something? I don't think reporters are qualified.
Okay,
I don't
fair.
think they are.
Well, this pool of reporters who watch football saw Leonard Williams as being very qualified, like not named to a first-team All-Pro, but like as receiving votes and as having a better year overall than Dexter Lawrence, and yet he wasn't named to a Pro Bowl, and Dexter was.
This is frustrating.
Just like a tiny bit of insight.
Yeah, this is frustrating because you know what? I sit in the press box around reporters, and the nonsense that comes out of their mouth sometimes when it comes to watching a football game and evaluating football is crazy to me.
What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
There's this one guy, and Big Ray, if you're listening, you know what I'm talking about.
I want to know who it is.
We're sitting there, and it's just this guy sits down to the right of us, and Gino has the football, and he's like hoping for an interception. Here comes the interception. Here comes the interception. Oh, he should have thrown an interception there. It's like he wants whatever narrative he puts out there to be true. It's like it's almost like they're watching a game to create a story, not watching the game and then analyzing it and then creating a story. It's like I'm going into this game with this thought, and I need this thought to come true because I really want to write about this. And it's wild to me. I'm sure there are some reporters who are qualified, who know the game and watch the game and all that good stuff. But some of the stuff that is said in that press box sometimes, I've asked to be moved because of some of the things I'm hearing.
Can I tell you a phenomenon that I think happens among reporters as a reporter? I'm a host, but as a former reporter, I stay in my lane. I never played. I don't pretend to know ball and know X's and O's the way that former players do. Before anyone accuses me of anything, I stay in my lane, and Bump can confirm it.
Facts.
I do talk about opinion-based content. Same with Mike Salk. Neither of us played before. We stick to opinion-based content. Hey, I feel this way. Well, why is it this, right? Like, we stay in our lanes. And Bob. But I think what happens sometimes in the reporter community is that there are people who like feeling smarter than other people and like feeling like the smartest guy in the room. And this is in any city, anywhere. And I actually love a ton of the reporters here. Like, I've had a great experience. But I think what happens is there's a smartest man in the room syndrome that happens in any community, but in reporting communities. I mean, think about the type of person that goes into doing it, and it's very much about, I want to make you feel small.
Yeah.
I want to make you feel like you don't know ball, and I definitely do, and I probably could have played if only I was a little taller, but so here's what you need to know. And I do think that skews a lot of conversations about players.
Yeah, for sure. And, I'm hard on them, but I also think that those reporters put out good content too. It's just that their opinions are swayed at times. Just look at this. Zach Allen from Denver and Jalen Carter from Philly made second team All-Pro. Leonard Williams has 11 sacks. Allen has 8.5. Carter has 4.5. Leonard has 16 TFLs. Zach has 15. Carter has 12. Leonard Williams has 64 tackles. Zach has 61. Carter had 42. Leonard Williams has 3 passes defended. Allen has 1. Carter has 6. And Leonard has 1 touchdown. If we're just going to go off of stats alone, he should be in this thing. If you are not a person who really understands the game at a deeper level, I'm not saying reporters don't understand it, but there's levels to this, right? What's the first thing you're going to do? Let's look at the stats. Start there. Look at the stats. Start there and then watch the film and see if it aligns, if the film changes your perspective of that person. These stats alone should put Leonard as a Pro Bowler. Let's go to first team. You got Cameron Hayward, baller, well deserving of that. He has 8 sacks. Leonard has 11. Chris Jones has 5. TFLs, Hayward has 12. Chris Jones has 9. Leonard got him in both of those categories. Tackles, Hayward has 71. Chris Jones has 57. Leonard has about 6 more than Leonard. Hayward has 6 more than Leonard. Passes defended, Hayward got it. He got 11 of them things. The only person I see that's an all-pro that is just stomping all over what Leonard Williams is doing is Cameron Hayward. The other 3 guys, if we're just going off the stats, if you have not played the game, if you don't study the game like that, just look at the dang stats, and that should put them on your list right now. And then you go watch the film and make it all make sense. This is the craziest thing in the world to me. I just knew when I pulled up the all-pro list that Leonard Williams was going to be on that thing. It baffles me that they got this so horribly wrong. It's crazy.
Someone said that's why the majority of analysts and reporters get very little respect. See, this is where I am going to push back, though. So I'll speak to the reporters that I know in Seattle. They work exceptionally difficult. And the vast majority understand that they haven't played before.
Yeah.
And so they ask a lot of questions. They also know a lot more than they can report. And so a lot of what they say is shaded by that. I promise you that the average reporter knows more about your favorite team than you do.
Facts.
I promise you that much. And I promise you that even if you don't personally like an analyst, that analyst still knows a lot about football and still is respect, like Mina Kimes. Mina Kimes gets a ton of respect from people in the community, from players. You know what I mean? Like, you might not like her as an analyst. I'm just throwing her out because she's a very popular name. She gets a ton of respect. So Bump is speaking from the point of view as players versus reporters or people who haven't played, not like reporters don't know, don't work hard.
Nah, I'm not bashing them like that. They know some things. They know some things that I don't know about the team.
I'm telling you, the things I have heard from reporters are like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. But when I see stuff like this, when I see Leonard Williams not get an all-pro nod, and I realize who's voting, you lose credibility.
Okay, honest question about self-reflection. Are we being biased about Leonard Williams because he's a Seahawk? And, like, we watched his season up front.
No. Look at the stats.
I accept your answer.
No,
I'm just saying, like, hey, if we're having a point of self-reflection.
There's only one person on this team that deserves to be an all-pro, and he didn't get it. Devin didn't deserve it. No one else deserves it. There's another person who got an all-pro that I don't think deserves it, but I ain't going to say his name.
Someone said, should the Pro Bowl be like the All-Star game in baseball, the fans? Well, the Pro Bowl does have a 1/3 fan vote. I'm telling you right now, the fan vote would not be somehow more educated than a player vote.
Nah, it should, honestly.
It would be the same thing. You're a fan. I'm a fan. You vote for the players you like. If I had a fan vote, I'd vote for Leonard Williams.
It should be only coaches. Coaches' game plan against schemes and players.
I don't
it
think
should
a fan
only be the
vote
coaches.
fixes the all-pro selection.
Heck no.
The all-pro selection, I think, is typically more reflective of, like, the most elite play. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that get Pro Bowls where I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's popular.
All-pro is typically like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, this checks out.
They got this one so wrong.
Right, but what do you do when someone who should definitely be at the very least a Pro Bowler, and there is an argument for an all-pro, isn't one? That's when I'm baffled.
Yeah, well, the Pro Bowl, I think we all understand what it is. Popularity contest.
Yeah.
There's a guy who won most popular in high school who wasn't, or excuse me, most athletic one year in high school that wasn't most athletic. He just knew more people. That's what the Pro Bowl is.
It's a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel and Casino and Hotel.
Nice.
Thank you. Lions broadcaster Lomas Brown joins us next.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
What does lie ahead now for the Seahawks in 2025?
Every day at 7:45.
You have 3 real East Coast road trips this year. Did well. Next year, you got 6 deep road trips.
Really?
How those get put together and how many are back-to-back and how all that plays out will be a little different animal. Now, the quality of team in some of those cases, not great. Some rebuilds along the way, but a bunch of East Coast trips next year.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/radio and use code radio for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/radio and use code radio at checkout.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? It seems impossible to find them. Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin D3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
1877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here telling you that people all over the Northwest are going to lose 20 to 30 pounds by Valentine's Day. They'll do it by starting with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic as their resolution, and you can as well. A 15-minute phone call is all it takes to get started or see if you're even interested in the program. 15 minutes, that's probably how long you'll sit in traffic today, right? So take that time to do something for yourself and your future. I did the program. I immediately lost 10 pounds in the first week, lost 35 pounds after 8 weeks, so it absolutely works. Here's what I didn't have to do. Fight for space in a crowded gym with New Year's resolutioners, take pills or even worse, injections, eating bland, boxed, fake meals, nothing like that. What I did get was delicious recipes, a group to offer support, and what was important for me, the accountability, plus an easy-to-follow plan that really did work. Do it for yourself this year. 15 minutes. Call 425-588-0080 or go to eastsideweightloscclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles again and underwent another surgery yesterday, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. His timeline to return could be at least 7 months, which does give him a chance to play in the 2025 season. Browns general manager Andrew Berry said Monday, that was before this report, that Watson had suffered a, quote, setback. Watson suffered his first torn Achilles on October 20th.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio
This is Bump and Stacy.
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Excited to be joined by Lions broadcaster Lomas Brown on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Hey, Lomas, how's it going?
I'm good. How you guys doing today?
Fantastic. We have a specific name to talk about, and then I also want to ask you about the Lions. Obviously, one of the most exciting teams in the playoffs right now. We're not going to see them this weekend, but we'll eventually. I'm going to start, though, with Lions OL coach Hank Fraley, reportedly being interviewed for the Seahawks open OC job. What can you tell us about Hank?
Well, first of all, I love that if that happens because, again, Frank is a guy that's worked very hard, a guy that's kind of been behind the scenes, but yet and still what his position group, that offensive line, has been able to do since he's been here. I mean, he's been able to plug and play. Guys have been able to fight through injuries. We know how tough these guys are up front, and he's going to bring that demeanor. He's going to bring that characteristic to Seattle if he gets that opportunity. So I think it would be a great job, and Seattle wants to bring their toughness back. So if they want to do that, I think Hank Fraley would be the great job for the OC.
Yeah, it's I always like when offensive line guys are mentioned at the OC position because, as you and I know, and everyone I guess who watches football understands that the O-line really sets the tone. I don't know how much you've watched of Seattle. If you haven't, then it's all good. But what do you think of the O-line situation over here, and what do you think that Hank would bring to this O-line?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, I thought when you guys brought in Big Cross and the other tackle, those young guys, I thought they would progress a little faster than they have. Yeah. But, again, I think Hank can speed that up. I know he can because, again, I've seen him work with guys around here, and you've seen these guys kind of develop and see these guys kind of grow. If you think about, we had Jonah Jackson here. He was able to go to L.A. and get a big contract. Graham Glasgow, he was able to go to Denver and get a big contract and come back here. You see what we did with Penei Sewell, and you see what Taylor Decker has got. So, and of course Frank Ragnow. So again, he's shown that he can take the talent around him and develop it. And like you see our run game, that's just a byproduct of what these guys have been doing up front. When you look at Jahmyr Gibbs, you look at what David Montgomery has done this season, it's really just a byproduct. And Jared Goff is a byproduct of how good that offensive line has been, both running the ball and passing the ball.
Lomas, I think it's easy for people to look at the Lions offensive line and go, well, they got a couple first rounders on there. How hard is that to coach up? But and I know that teams draft and miss on first rounders all the time, and that coaching absolutely is important in getting the most out of those guys. Tell me about this Lions OL and kind of where coaching plays a part. Not just like we knew Penei Sewell was good. We knew all these guys are good, but like where does coaching really come in here and shine?
No, you're absolutely right about that. Mm-hmm. But even a Penei Sewell, even a Taylor Decker, even some of your best linemen in this league, you're going to lose a player or two. You're not going to have your best game all the time. You're not going to be at the top of your game. And to be honest with you, sometimes those guys have confident problems, and that's where a coach comes in at, especially a coach that's played the position. Oh, my goodness, I would have killed in my 18 years to play for a guy that played in the NFL and played the offensive line. So if I'm struggling out there on the field, guess what? It's a sense of comfort coming to the sideline and knowing that guy, the person that's coaching you, he's been there, done that. He's had these same struggles. So it just gives you that sense of confidence, when you come to the sideline. So I think it's so much that coaching brings to a team. And I quite think it's underrated, especially the assistant coaches. Yeah, you hear about the head coaches, but I'm telling you, when you start breaking it down, and not the OCs and the DCs, I'm talking about your positional coaches. When you start hearing about these guys and the job that they do, then you know that your coaching staff is well coached and they're ready to take these guys to the next level.
Dan Campbell is such an interesting guy, and his approach, I think, is old school, which I appreciate, man. I'd play for Dan right now. Why do you think he's been able to kind of connect with this younger generation? Because Lomas, we know these kids are different now. You know, they move different, they act different, but for some reason the old school approach is working there in Detroit. Why do you think so?
Yeah, I just think because right, he's been a player in this league, 9 years in this league. So again, like I say, he's sat there, done that. So those guys know that he's kind of been there where they are right now. I think the other thing about Dan is that his message from day one has been the same. It's been the same message whether I remember when we were 3-13, 3-13-1. He was preaching the same message that he's preaching right now at 14 or 15-2. You know, so the message has been consistent throughout. And, you know, us as players, us as professional athletes, that's what you look for is consistency in whatever you're doing, whatever you're being told. And he's done that. And then, again, he says, and I believe it, you have to be a certain type of guy to play for the Lions. You just have to be a certain type of guy. They're only looking for certain type of guys to be able to play on this team. And so far, they've hit it with the guys that they brought in because these guys have been the right guys. These guys have been phenomenal over these last couple of years. And the good thing about it is that it's a young core. So this window of opportunity should be open the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Mike McDonald said that he wants to be physical on offense. Lomas, I would consider Detroit's offense pretty physical. What does a tough physical offense look like?
Yeah, so again, you're going to start it by dominating the line of scrimmage. So that, again, they have to have that aspect. They have to have that want to, too. You got to want to be good. You got to want to be the best at what you do. So, again, that's that mindset that come into play. And 3 up front, man, you have to be able to play as a unit. We're the only, if you think about their offensive line, it's almost like a hand in a glove. Everybody has to be working together. No one can miss a play or miss a block or miss an assignment, and that play isn't going to work. On defense, yeah, you could cover up. A guy can miss his gap and another guy can cover up for him. It don't work that way up front on the offensive line. So, and everything has to be precise. So, again, you're talking about a group of 5. You're not talking about a group of 2 or 1. You're talking about a group of 5 that has to play as one. So that's the most important thing. And, again, when you talk about a guy like Hank Fraley, that's your foundational piece. He could get that piece set for you along with your run game. And, of course, you're going to involve with the passing game because that's what the Lions do. Everything we do up over here is predicated off the run, including our pass.
Were you surprised with the attack the Lions had defensively against the Vikings? They were manning up. They said, look, hey, Justin Jefferson, I know you're one of the best in the game, but we're going to get at you, especially with all the injuries they had on defense. I was surprised. I loved it, but I love the almost like the arrogance of that defense. They weren't scared, man. What you think of that approach?
Yeah, they look like little Aaron Glenns back there, little younger Aaron Glenns on the field. I'm telling you, man, they brought it. You're right. I never imagined that they would be able to hold that offense, those guys, to 9 points. But they came out, like you said, with that swagger. And I'm telling you, Aaron Glenn was attacking from the first play to the last play. And that's what I thought we had to do was we had to get pressure on Sam Darnold. We had to make him feel uncomfortable back there because we knew if we did, he would give us some opportunities or he would miss on some opportunities, which he did. So it was a great game plan. Those guys executed the game plan to the T. And, you know, the one thing that they did that really gets overnoticed is they tackled really well in that game. There was a lot of opportunities where you had one-on-ones with some of their stars, and our guys were able to make the tackle. No broken tackles, no yards after the catch. So it was great to see how they were able to execute and go out there and play. And I'm telling you, man, if Aaron Glenn ain't on the top of a lot of lists around here, I don't know why.
Obviously, reseeding, we'll see how things shake out. But if the Lions have to face the Vikings again in the divisional round, you think they can get them a third time?
Oh, man, I'm saying every time somebody bring that subject up with me, it's bad because, back in 93, I think it was, back when Brett Favre was with Green Bay, we faced them 3 times. We had just played them the week before, had to play them in the wild card, had them beat until 40 seconds left in the game when Brett Favre threw that pass to a wide-open Sterling Sharp. And, man, I just still have nightmares about that. So I say all that to say, it's hard to beat the team 3 times in 1 year. I would not want to face Green Bay, or I definitely don't want to face the Vikings. I'm good with everybody else but those teams right there right now.
What's it been like watching your division just blow up? I mean, for over the years, you've had Green Bay, who's been consistent with Aaron. The Vikings have had their ups and their downs, and then, of course, the Lions. My dad is a Detroit guy, so I've grown up watching the Lions. What's it like knowing that for the next at least 3 to 4 years, this division is going to be tough?
Unfair. Just unfair. That's the first word come to my mind. Man, I'm telling you, man, out of all the years, think about it. Like you said, so you know the history. We're having a historical year. Think about it. We only lost 2 games this year. And we had to fight to get the number 1 seed all the way to the last game of the season. Why? Because the Vikings were sitting there at 14-2. Why? Because Philadelphia was sitting there at whatever they are, 13-3, 14-3, whatever they are. Green Bay sitting there at 11-12 wins. I can't believe that everybody wants to be good. The year the Lions are good. It was just, like I say, it was just so unfair, just so very unfair.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good about you guys. I know you got a lot of injuries. Can't wait to see this team. Obviously, we got to wait an extra week. But he is Lions broadcaster Lomas Brown. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
You too. They're a fun team, man. I really wish they wouldn't have suffered so many defensive injuries because I'd be just money on the table.
I felt them. Unfair. It is unfair.
Yeah, right?
The Lions have suffered all this time. Now the Vikings want to be balling out. Green Bay is decent. Chicago's on the rise. They're going to be a good team in a year or two. And the Lions, have been biting their kneecaps the last 3 years and finally have their chance. And I felt them because my dad is from Detroit. So he's a Detroit Lions fan.
So you suffered through quite a few bad Lions games. I've
been there with him. I grew up in L.A., so it's a bit different. So I never really supported the Lions, but I did because my dad, was a fan of them. And, I heard my dad in that voice right there.
Just why? Of all years, let us have this one. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's something the NFC West does not want to see happen?
Robert Saleh has interviewed
I saw this.
for the 49ers, or is going to, or has. Either way, if he goes back to Niner gang, bing, bing, bang, it's going to be some problems, man. He turned that offense around. In 2017, they were 24th overall, and then that was his first year. In 2018, they were 13th overall. In 2019, they were 2nd overall, had 27 takeaways, like top 5 in the league. And his last year, they were 5th overall. You got to have talent. Obviously on offense and defense, but when you have a guy who's just in his wheelhouse, and I think being a coordinator is exactly what he is meant to be. Robert Saleh spent some time over here. He helped this defense. Then go over to the 49ers, helped them. With the Jets, he was kind of a delegator. Maybe that just wasn't his role. I still think he should have been given more opportunity over there with the New York Jets. But you don't want to see Saleh come back because we're looking at the Arizona Cardinals, who I think are moving in the right directions, the Rams, who are never going to go anywhere, and the Niners, who, if they were healthy, they probably are going to be in the playoffs, but they got hit with the injury bug. If you bring this dude back, and he starts talking that talk and walking that walk, this division might be one of the better ones like it has been over the past, 10 to 15 years. So you do not want to see that bald-headed man on the sideline again calling plays, because it's going to be trouble. But he's also interviewing for some other head coaching jobs. Hopefully he goes elsewhere. Either way, I think Robert Saleh is more than qualified for whatever position that he wants. He'll be in the NFL here pretty soon.
Second down. Speaking of those head coaching jobs, what's the worst head coach job available in the NFL?
You ever been to Mardi Gras?
Not Mardi Gras, but I've been to New Orleans.
I've never been to Mardi Gras. On my bucket list. I might be too old to go to Mardi Gras.
I don't
now.
think so. I don't think it's like Coachella.
No?
Like, I think Mardi Gras is more all ages.
I think it gets kind of wild, though.
It'll
know?
get wild.
It gets wild.
Yeah, but like, it's not like eye roll kind of pretentious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's all walks of life, all
Yeah,
ages there.
I think so.
Okay. You don't want to go to Mardi Gras. You don't want to go to New Orleans. New Orleans is a bad situation over there. They do not have a franchise quarterback. He doesn't exist. You got Derek Carr over there. It sounds good, but you don't want to go there. You have the top 10 pick in the NFL draft, but this isn't a great draft when it comes to quarterbacks. After the first 3 are gone, you're rolling the dice and hoping that you hit. Maybe you get one of the sleepers that I talked about, Jackson Dart. You got Kyle McCord as well. We shall see. You are minus $61 million when it comes to the cap.
How?
I know they're going to figure something out.
Make it make sense.
The numbers guy is going to be numbering, and they're going to find out. But you're looking at that situation, and they don't have real stars. Like Alvin Kamara is a good running back. How many seasons has he gone over 1,000 yards rushing?
2.
None.
Wow.
None.
Since 2017?
Well, now he does have some, some like 500, 600 yards receiving. He contributes elsewhere, but you don't have a solid run game either.
Wow.
If you don't have a franchise quarterback, you don't have a solid run game, your defense isn't the greatest. New Orleans is not looking very good. They got to trade for a veteran. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Kirk Cousins ends up over there in New Orleans helping out the Saints. That's a quick little move for him from Atlanta, because he ain't going to be in Atlanta either.
He can drive.
He can drive there. I'm looking at the Saints, and I would not want to go there. If you're a coordinator looking for an opportunity, you're going to go anywhere. But ideally, you want to go somewhere where there is a quarterback, or you have a chance to get a top quarterback. You have a defense that is on the rise or established. You got nothing over there with the Saints. They fooled us the first 2 weeks. So that's why I look at Clint Kubiak, and I wonder exactly how he's going to interview, and is he going to be able to say the right things, to present the right things to Mike McDonald to make him want to get that job. The more I listen to our guy, Mr. Brown, talk, the more I'm falling in love with Hank Fraley. I think offensive line coaches make good coordinators. I'm going to address that in third down too. Or yes, third down, yep.
Before we get to third down for like 10 seconds here, Curtis and I yesterday talked about Derek Carr, just like very briefly. And I think we were talking about the Raiders, so it was a separate story, but obviously Derek Carr now with the Saints. And we were like, man, isn't it crazy how for a minute there, Derek Carr kind of had us thinking he was like the Raiders guy. Did you ever fall into that? Like, were you among the people who were like, what if the Raiders found their guy?
When he was balling and was up for MVP,
they were balling.
I was like, all right, Derek Carr, I see you. Then he broke his leg. I go, he gonna be all right. He gonna be all right. He gonna be all right.
Time.
And then he comes back, and it never was the same. Side note, it looks like he wears eyeliner.
Yes. I think it's the density of his eyelashes and the darkness of them, and I've always been incredibly envious of that as someone with very sparse eyelashes.
I feel like if
Don't say anything. I know you've noticed.
All the time. If we were in a staring contest, I would lose because his eyes just piercing. You know what I mean? Like,
they get into your soul.
And he's a
very
Christian man. It's like, are you God? What's going on here?
Third down. What's a concern you would have if an O-line guy does become the Seahawks OC?
So I'm going to contradict myself.
Okay.
I said, I'm falling in love with Hank Fraley, but the only concern I would have with an offensive line guy as the OC is just the pass game. You still want to be able to throw the football. So who's going to be your passing game coordinator? I'm not going to say the offensive line guys don't know how to throw the football, because when we look at wide receiver and quarterback coaches who become coordinators, they still have to run the football, vice versa, right? But who's going to be your passing game coordinator? You're going to have to be directly connected. What I do like about an O-line guy being the offensive coordinator is that your foundation is set. It all starts with the bigs. He's going to be able to talk to the bigs in their language. I've coached before. I've been an offensive coordinator, high school coach. I can tell a big what to do. Right? Hey, this is your assignment. We get this look. This is what you're doing. But there's nothing like a guy who's done that and who has coached it for years, speaking your language and teaching it from a different angle. So I really appreciate that about O-line guys, man. So we'll see. But my only concern would be, all right, who's your passing game coordinator? How creative can you be connecting the run to the pass?
Fourth down. We were just joined by Lions broadcaster Lomas Brown. Anything interesting stand out from Lomas?
Yeah, he said you know you have a good staff when you start hearing about the assistants. When you start hearing your census being mentioned for this job and that job and the other job, you know you have yourself a good staff. How long is it going to take for Mike McDonald to create that staff to where we start hearing about his guys being promoted and being talked about in other positions? Another thing he said, I love it, man. I always talk about the offensive line being a nickel and not 5 pennies, right? He said the offensive line is like the hand in the glove. And I love that analogy because you're right? You put your hand in the glove and you're all moving together. That's what I'm going to be looking for. That's something I'm going to start using. Thank you, Mr. Brown. I'm going to start using that. The offensive line has to be like a hand in the glove. You all move together. You guys are working to accomplish the same things. That's what this offensive line has to be. So how great would it be that these guys, the Seahawks, go and get an offensive line guy and get them guys moving like a hand in the glove? That's what we need to see.
Yeah. Let's see. We still have to come today. Loa Tupu, who's going to join us. We're going to take a look around the NFL, get back to some wild card stuff, some bad news for the Browns, all kinds of things. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler joining us at 1 p.m. He had that report on Clint Kubiak, so we'll be asking him about some of the names he's hearing linked to the Seahawks OC job. And let's see. Sorry, I lost my place. Coming up next, though, there was a list that we have complained about for 2 seasons. And I don't get tired of complaining about it. It's the top 10 catchers list. And for 2 years, Curtis, probably longer than that, but certainly for 2 years in a row when he deserved to be on it, Cal Raleigh was left off. Curtis, you know, and Bump, you know where Cal is ranked right now. And I will tell you guys next, no spoilers. Is it still too low? Are you feeling disrespected a little bit? You know what I mean? I think that I needed more to make up for 2 years of just being snubbed. I don't know. We'll tell you where he ranks next.
Coach McDonald's first season is in the books.
Holy smokes, are you kidding? Leo Williams is going to take it in for a touchdown. Seahawks!
Stay with Seattle Sports as we analyze the new vision for the Hawks and look ahead to the 2025 season.
Gonna run 10-5, Gino, touchdown, Seahawks!
This is Seattle Sports.
JSN makes the catch! Are you kidding me? Holy catfish!
Your home for everything Seahawks.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at EmeraldQueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Are you still dealing with a runny nose, congestion, or sinus drip this holiday season? Always having to clear your throat or cough? Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Ryanair is a simple, non-invasive procedure that significantly reduces your postnasal drip and stuffiness. A recent clinical study shows almost 9 out of 10 Ryanair patients get significant improvement in their symptoms. We're proud the Stern Sinus Center was named a nationwide center of excellence. Schedule your appointment in Federal Way, Auburn, or at sternsinus.com.
We are Subaru of Puyallup.
We're stress-free.
Stress-free. Estamos libre de estrés.
We're almost 100 employees strong. We make sure the sales process is smooth.
We have video car walkthroughs.
We have stress-free pricing.
We value our customers and we value their experience.
We're like a family here.
We love our community.
And support local charities. We are
Subaru of Puyallup. Your
stress-free
dealership.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text PIVOT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text PIVOT to 42424. That's PIVOT to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. For your best shot at a new roof, trust Techline. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline Roofing has you covered. Trust the team I trust. Trust Techline Roofing.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. I'm proud to let you know that nationwide, our clinics have a 4.7 out of 5-star rating on Google. This tells you that our patients are really seeing results. Here's what some of them are saying. The results are close to phenomenal. On top of that, the staff and the scheduling are top-notch, and my technician is a consummate professional. Another patient said, I called numerous clinics, and West Coast was by far the best. The other places wouldn't give me any information over the phone, but West Coast answered all of my questions. My wife and I were skeptical, but we've already noticed the difference. This was a game changer for us. West Coast Men's Health has helped thousands of men reverse their ED using acoustic wave therapy. No pills or shots necessary. Give us a call today so we can help you too.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
For decades, we've been more than just roofing. From siding and windows to custom decks and gutters, we've been helping customers protect and transform their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing. I'm proud to announce our new name, State Roofing and Exteriors. The same trusted team, the same quality service, now with a name that says it all. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors. Your home, your way, held to a higher standard since 1968.
At Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and safe. And that means safe at home, at school, and online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
Learn more at childfund.org.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline on Bump and Stacy. We are going to start with MLB Network righting a wrong. Their top 10 catcher list is out. And for the first time, Cal Raleigh actually placed. Now, the first year Cal Raleigh wasn't on it after having 30-plus home runs, it was like, okay, fine. You know, West Coast getting overlooked a little bit. The Mariners aren't a team of consequence. I can understand. Then he got 30 bombs again and wasn't on it again. And it was like, wait a minute, now he's a leader. And now he's pretty good defensively. And now he's another year of getting 30-plus home runs, and he's not on here. So I knew that if he was not on this list in year 3, I would simply need to riot. Like, I would simply storm into MLB Network and ask to see the manager. There would be no other option for me to take. I don't have to do that, though. Cal Raleigh is on here at number 4. Is that still too low? I'll tell you who's above him. William Contreras at number 1. Totally fine with that. Adley Rutschman at number 2. Will Smith at 3. And then Cal.
No, there's only one guy that I think is riding the wave of reputation, and that's our guy Adley over there with the Baltimore Orioles. You and I were looking at his stats, and there's nothing that's overwhelming about what he did last year. There's nothing. 19 bombs, OPS 709, Cal has him in both those areas. We were talking about how, yes, he strikes out less, but when you're hitting 34 bombs, you go ahead and swing for the fences, young man, and you drive those runs in. I'm okay. If he wasn't at least top 5, then I would have an issue with it. But I also think that these baseball minds probably critique his play behind the plate, right? That's what they're looking at. It's clearly not the offensive numbers. They're looking at other things. So, no, I'm fine with it. If I had to mix anything up, I'd put Adley at 4 and put Cal at 3.
So I actually thought, Curtis, tell me if you concur with what Bump and I were saying in here. I agree with Bump. I think that I'm not offended by Cal being 4th. I think that's really fine. I'll accept it. I think Adley, who I think is phenomenal, a franchise dude, absolutely amazing, now, I didn't watch Orioles game, so defensively I can't speak to how he was. Maybe they're really leaning into no, he's such a good catcher. He's so good behind the plate. But I don't know. Statistically, just as at bat, Contreras, Raleigh, a couple other guys had a better season than Adley.
Yeah, Rutschman, he had a really good first 2 seasons in the bigs. Last year, the bat left plenty to be desired. Had an OPS barely over 700, but I think the way he handled Baltimore's pitching staff and defensively, he deserves a lot of credit for that. But if you look at the arbitration numbers that Rutschman and Cal Raleigh got yesterday, Cal Raleigh got more than Adley Rutschman. So whoever is in arbiting over these hearings, they see Cal Raleigh is better than Adley Rutschman at the moment. So I think a lot of this does have to do with reputation.
Maybe a little East Coast bias.
Of course, absolutely. But yeah, I don't have a problem with William Contreras at number 1.
Not
He's
at all.
really good, 26 years old. And Will Smith, he's been doing it for a long time with the Dodgers. So yeah, Adley Rutschman number 2.
A little high.
I don't think that's
high.
where I'd have him. I think if you had Contreras, Smith, and Raleigh as your top 3, I think that would be a little more palatable than having him below Adley Rutschman right now.
Well, congratulations to Cal. Not a real award, but I think a pretty cool honor considering he was totally snubbed last year. So at least made it this time. Next up, in an interview with Good Morning America, Colorado head coach Deion Sanders shared the exact conditions it would take for him to leave the Buffaloes for the NFL.
The only way I would consider is to coach my son. Not son. No. Sons. Okay.
I think we're going to go viral with that.
Yeah.
So that's not a no.
Well, I love Colorado. Now, I love my Buffaloes. I love everything that we're building. I love everything that we're doing, and I love Boulder, Colorado. I do.
Can I ask you a question? Is that Deion Sanders low-key telling whatever team drafts Shador that at some point they need to take his other son? And then he will go coach for them?
Yeah. He said, this is how you want me. You want me? Come and get me, but this is what I need to happen. And dang well, here's the thing. If Deion Sanders were a head coach on an NFL team, he could sign his son. He could talk to the GM and be like, let's sign the older brother. He's older, right? The older brother.
The fact that we don't know should probably speak to, and maybe he ends up becoming an elite NFL talent, but the fact that I have at no point named him.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, because he calls Travis Hunter his son as well. So at first I'm thinking, all right, so are we talking all 3?
Right.
Are we talking 2?
We're talking bio kids?
What are we doing here? But no, Deion is in control of everything right now. He is the leader of this new NIL transfer portal college football.
Yeah.
He is one of the names that are being talked about and will be talked about every single year when it comes to a coaching job. He is one of the greatest football players of all time. Life is so good for him. I hope one day my beard is as gray as his, and I can line it up like him too. Even his beard is on point. Deion can do nothing wrong, man.
No. What an impossible person to have as a parent, though. He's so good at everything.
Yeah.
And no matter what he says, because he's not quite polarizing even. People really like him. For the most part, people respect him, even if he says stuff that, finds its way into headlines, just like it is right now. People still really respect him and gravitate toward him.
Yeah, he's got that personality, man. He's prime time, baby.
Yeah. Next up, Lamar Jackson says he wants to change his jersey number to number 1 if the Ravens win the Super Bowl.
No, but I already told Miss Megan, I said we win the Super Bowl, I'm going to number 1. I want to.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really? All right.
That's my original. That's my first number ever. My dad told me number 1, get number 1 because that's the best. You the best. And they always stuck with me. And I got number 8 when I went to college. And then my mom told me 8 stands for new beginning. So it's dang, it's a new beginning. So I kept 8. My coach asked me, he's like, what number you want? I'm like, I wanted number 1, but y'all gave me number 8. But it's all good because I know what it stands for now. And, I just said, I want to retire number 8 and number 1. I want to do that here at the Ravens. So I want to win a Super Bowl with number 8 on, do much as I can with number 8 on, then come back and do the same thing with 1 on.
What do you think?
Kobe. 8 and 1. I'm with that. I like it. And I know they're going to be that 8 jersey is going to get even more valuable if he does make that switch. I was looking at the roster to see if he would have to pay somebody to get number 1. I don't see number 1 on that roster. So you go ahead and do it. I'm with that, man. That would be kind of cool. Imagine if you win multiple Super Bowls, and after you win a Super Bowl, you retire that number. All right, I'm done with that number.
Yeah.
Let's go get a new one.
And then you did another
there
one.
There might be a trend happening here.
Next up, the Orlando Magic of all teams tweeted out a picture of 2 former Mariners greats, Ken Griffey Jr. and A-Rod, together at Thursday night's Magic T-Wolves game. Jr. lives in Orlando. A-Rod was in town to watch his Minnesota Timberwolves. Real question for the audience, Curtis, feel free. Why do we, I understand the background. You don't need to tell me. I'm from the area. Clearly, I grew up here. Why do we still hate Alex Rodriguez, for real? Why do we still pretend that he was never at any point with the Mariners? It is so wild to me. I grew up.
He's a traitor.
I'm just saying, when I was a kid, I understood the nicknames. I understood why we did it. I am from SeaTac, shout out. But we're not over that.
Right.
In 20 years of missing the playoffs, at no point we tried to be like, oh, Alex Rodriguez, we had him one time. He was here too.
It's not like the Mariners have had a ton of Hall of Fame level players play for their team. And Alex Rodriguez, say what you want about his steroid usage, but definitely Hall of Fame caliber player.
Yeah.
And is just kind of lost to history here or just ignored, I think, with a purpose.
It's with a purpose is the most important part. I don't get it.
He left for the bag. He got paid.
Okay.
Go ahead and get your money, dog. I mean, yeah, you would do the same thing.
Yes,
Tell
anyone
you what,
would.
Sirius XM, offer me a bag right now. Bonneville, I love you, and you're in Seattle sports. You've been great to me. I'm out this piece, man. Come on.
Yeah, someone said, Stacy, are you friends with any of your exes that decided to leave you for another guy? That's the reason why we still don't like him. I understand, but
man.
I don't know, man. A-Rod isn't the only player ever in the history of the world to have left a franchise, and you can still acknowledge that he at one point played for your team.
Yeah.
You don't have to like him. By no means celebrate A-Rod as doing for your team what Griffey did for your team or meant for your city.
You know who
Very
I like?
different legacies.
You know who I don't like that play for my team? Karl Malone.
Exactly.
But he played for my team.
Nor should you.
But he played for my team. I'm
that's
going to
well
acknowledge
earned.
that he was on the team. He played for my team.
I just think there are certain things. It's not, I am by no means telling anyone, let go of it. I'm just saying,
You are, though.
Well, I'm saying, you don't need to alienate yourself 20 years later.
It's been
from
long
A-Rod.
enough.
It's been long enough. I think enough time
Seattle's
has passed.
made their point.
Yeah, where you could, if you wanted to, be like, hey, look.
He had the biggest contract in baseball history at the time.
Oh, any single person that hates A-Rod for what he did would do exactly what A-Rod did.
Come on.
And there are some people that are really principled and wouldn't, and I can respect the heck out of that type of person, but there aren't many.
How crazy is it that was the biggest contract at the time? It was like $250 million.
Right?
And my dudes are dang near $1 billion right now.
I was thinking, I don't know why, driving into work about an apartment that my dad lived in when I was younger. I don't know why I was thinking of it, and I was thinking, I wonder how much that apartment cost. And I was like, man, in 1998, how much do you think, just a random 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment?
$800.
Dude, I bet it was less.
Think so?
Isn't that crazy how inflation, it's just different world.
We need raises. Let's talk to our bosses.
The IRG injury report brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Good news for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts has officially cleared concussion protocol and will start Sunday for the Eagles against the Packers. That one is the Sunday afternoon game at 1:30. Loaf is joining us at noon. Don't go anywhere.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Jeff Hassan, good morning.
When we are sitting around waiting desperately for something to happen, do you think sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking that some action is better than no action? I don't know how many compelling things there are out there right now, and so I hate to say to Mariners fans, maybe the lack of action is better than action for action's sake.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Where can you kick off the new year with big savings on gig speed? Only with Xfinity, now through January 16th. Get gig internet at home for $25 a month for 1 year when you add an unlimited mobile line, which connects you to gig speed Wi-Fi on the road. Act fast today and save more than $650 over AT&T and Verizon in your first year. Plus, hurry and take advantage because right now you can also get a free 5G phone with trade-in. So save big and stay connected to what you love with fast gig speed internet and mobile. From home to hotspots, this new year, it's all about gig speeds and big savings. Don't wait and get gig speed internet. Spend less green and switch to Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com/gig savings to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Welcome Line and AT&T Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Starter Line. Xfinity internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, I'll take advantage of a slower season to save money and get your roof replaced quickly. Riverside Roofing has openings, and they'll get your roof turned around fast. You can find them at riversideroofingllc.com, and they are the roofing company you can trust.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today for a free in-home estimate. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
As a teenager in foster care, Tanya didn't think she would be adopted.
I didn't think I would have a family.
But the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption found her a safe, loving home.
Teenagers are fun, and there are many first milestones to experience.
Every year, more than 20,000 teenagers in the U.S. age out of foster care without a family. Learn how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
35 years from manufacturing to consulting to installations. I've taken the very best from every level of replacing windows and doors and put it into our people and processes. Hi, I'm Adrian, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Over time, we've developed our exclusive Leak Armor installation to protect your home from the harsh elements, with the peace of mind of a lifetime warranty. With a 4.9 star rating on over 1,000 reviews, we're a company you can trust. Visit us today, lakewashingtonwindows.com, a name you can trust.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? Changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Cougar basketball is back.
These guys want to get better at basketball. They want to go as far as they can in the game. They want to get their education. They want to be around each other and build a real family.
Coach Riley and the Cougs are ready.
We put in so much work all of our lives for this exact moment.
We are Wazoo. It's only on your home for Cougar basketball.
Catch the Cougs all season long on AM 770 KTTH.
We are
Subaru of Puyallup.
We're stress-free.
Stress-free.
Estamos libre de estrés.
We're almost 100 employees strong.
We make sure the sales process is smooth.
We have video car walkthroughs.
We have stress-free pricing.
We value our customers and we value their experience.
We're like a family here.
We love our community.
And support local charities. We are
Subaru
of Puyallup. Your
stress-free
dealership.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I have to stick with this A-Rod topic for just a second because the text line's popping off, and I want to make sure that people's opinions get included in the show, Bump. Mac and Jack's text line 866-979-3776. If you hate A-Rod because you think he's a jerk, annoying, did steroids, whatever, I literally do not care. You're well within your right. J-Lo. Yeah, J-Lo. Then he lost J-Lo.
Then he lost her.
Dang. Or did she lose it? No, he lost her. He lost her. So I really, I don't care at all if you don't like him. What I wonder is, like, it's interesting to me that the organization still, kind of distances itself. And I don't know if it's intentional, but I just think it's interesting. It's like if you were born in 2005, you would have no idea A-Rod was ever a Mariner. You would never know. You would never know that A-Rod was a Seattle Mariner at any point. Like, that's how little it's talked about. And I just think that's interesting. It's not even talked about in terms of, like, one of the most controversial contract decisions ever. It's like it didn't exist.
How about this? I had a buddy text me right now. He said, A-Rod needs to sell the Timberwolves and buy the Mariners. He says he's gotten a lot of people to flip on TikTok, and he called his idea genius.
His own idea.
Which is, that had me rolling. You call your own idea genius. You wait for people to say that's genius, but I rock with the confidence, though. I rock with it.
Someone texted in, again, on the Mac and Jack's text line. They said, well, Stacy, what if, like, one of the Mariners' current players, Cal, Kirby, whoever, leave for a bigger bag somewhere else? Like, would you hate them still? And, well, first of all, I don't hate A-Rod. No. Because someone brought in an interesting point, which was, well, part of it is the feeling that A-Rod lied to us about why he was leaving. And not only that, but could have been maybe part of a championship team. Mariners still looking for that first World Series appearance. I get it. It's also up to the Mariners to go to the playoffs more than once in 20 years. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know that I put that blame solely on his shoulders. That's my thing.
No, I wouldn't. It's and people change, their ideas change, their beliefs change, right? Their career goals change. So we get lied to all the time in sports media. Coaches lie all the time. You know,
to your face.
To your face. We'll answer your question with a straight face, and then tomorrow it would be something completely different. It happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Curtis, what are your feelings on A-Rod? I know that you sent us this photo of him and Griffey together yesterday, and we're like, this is so interesting.
It is. I loved seeing those two guys together. I would imagine the hatchet is probably buried between them. I don't even know if they had any beef after. Because Griffey left before A-Rod did. Like, I can't imagine Griffey would have any beef towards A-Rod leaving the Mariners because he did the exact same thing. I think fences were mended with Griffey because he came back for those 2 seasons and people got a chance to say goodbye to him, and that was the final hurrah of his career. Now, we see a lot of texts saying, well, I hate Alex Rodriguez because of the steroid thing, and I think that's fair, but also I think you need to look at the timeline of that because based off of the evidence that we have seen, it was in Texas where he started using steroids. We don't know about his time in Seattle, if that was ever the case. Maybe it was because it was the late 90s, but as far as records show, it was in Texas, and as far as Alex Rodriguez has admitted, it was with the Rangers when he started to dabble with PEDs.
Someone said, when A-Rod left, he said he wanted to go to a winning team. Yes. And the Rangers were in the dumps at the time when he left for a perennial losing team. Yeah, but we were not. This is a different era, y'all. I really do think we are at a place as a sports society where if a player said, hey, frankly, I can make more money at this place, and this is my best time to make money, I don't think he'd be judged as harshly as he would have in the 90s.
Nah, because sports has changed. Loyalty is different. I think it's more of a transaction in a business now than ever. You know, it's crazy that there was a time in the NFL where there wasn't free agency. You just were stuck with your team. So, no, now people capitalize on their name, image, and likeness and their talent that they bring to the table. There's people getting paid for doing TikToks, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You know, so, no, I think it's completely different. I think that, like, the Yankees are upset that Juan Soto left and went to the Mets, but I also think that they understand that they can go acquire someone else because that's just how sports is these days. So, no, yeah, I think he's a victim of the times and of his own doing because he did kind of make it seem like, you know, he was a Mariner for life.
And maybe he should have come out and said, I'm leaving for money. Going to be really honest with you guys. And it would have been panned.
Right.
People would have hated him. There would have been headlines all over Seattle and nationally about how selfish he was, but it wouldn't have been as weird a statement to make in today's society. And I think, I don't know, man, the Mariners didn't make the playoffs for all of my teenagehood. All of my 20s. Like, I went a good chunk of my life. I had friends that when we were little kids, the Mariners went to the playoffs. And then we all grew up and they got married and had kids before the Mariners went again.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't blame A-Rod for that. I really don't blame a lot of players individually for that. I just kind of see that as an organizational failure.
Text lines is popping right now.
They are. And I get it. Like,
people
a lot
hate
of people.
A-Rod.
I get it. People hate A-Rod. I absolutely understand. And I'm not, don't take it personally. I am not mad at anyone for hating A-Rod. Hate A-Rod. I hate a lot of people that don't make sense. I'm just saying that there is a lot to point to, a lot of finger pointing to make with the Mariners when it comes to reasons that they, for the most part, have not made the playoffs and have not found postseason success. And my doesn't start by pointing at A-Rod. That's all.
It's deeper than that. But I understand people's hurt. Like,
I
would imagine if Kobe tried to leave L.A. at one point, and he was on the radio saying that he wants out. And I remember the feeling I had as a teenager going to the Fox Hills Mall, listening to Kobe saying he went out. I could imagine what I would have felt about Kobe if he dipped like that. So, yeah, you feel your feels, but times have changed. And I think that if he were to be in the same situation now, it would have been a bit different.
Someone said, know your listeners. Just say mean stuff about A-Rod. Look, I'm born and raised here. I'm allowed to talk about the team how I want to talk about the team. I understand that my age range puts me young enough to have watched or like remembered him leaving kind of, but not affected in the same way. Like I didn't have the same understandings about loyalty and the same passion for the team that an adult would. I totally get that. That's not lost on me. I just, having spent more time in today's era of sports, in no way is it a weird concept to me. I get the feeling of betrayal. Like, I get the anger. I'd be livid. But in no way is it a weird concept that a player would just take more money to go somewhere else.
Makes complete sense.
Even
to
if
me.
they lie, even if they cover it up, even if they say, no, I would have loved to stay here, to take more money to go somewhere else. Look at what college football is right now. Just the way it works. Like, that's how things are. I don't know. It's not like a foreign concept now. So now that we all kind of know how people move, in hindsight, what A-Rod did isn't that weird. I don't know. Loaf is joining us at 12:30. Don't go anywhere.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
John Morosi is here.
I think Arenado is at least as reasonable of a potential move than getting a hitter from Baltimore, just because I think the Cardinals are they're more motivated to move Arenado than the Mariners are right now with Castillo. I think he's a good fit with Seattle. He's a West Coast guy. The number of teams that have players that the Cardinals would want and might be able to make an exchange on the money side of things.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey everyone, G. Scott here. If you're looking to make 2025 your healthiest year yet, sign up for the Safeway Sincerely Health app today. Earn rewards for healthy choices and get discounts on groceries and health products at Safeway stores. Plus, you can track goals and get personalized meal plans. It's never been easier to stay on top of your health. Let's all commit to better wellness today. Download the Safeway Sincerely Health app for free and start the journey to a healthier you.
Now is your
your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 19th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
The Lee Johnson culture to me is empowering all of your employees to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. You know, there are certain things that it doesn't matter what level of employment you are in our organization. If it's not the right thing or it doesn't feel right, they have the ability to take care of the customer and make the decision without asking a manager, without asking an owner. Yeah, the end result is they can speak to the customer with more confidence. They're definitely more confident in what they're trying to provide the customer, what the customer is trying to accomplish, and just giving them a better experience.
His name is Justin Meek. He's the leader and caretaker of more than 300 full-time employees for the Lee Johnson Auto family. Justin believes everything about doing the right thing begins and ends with Lee Johnson's company culture. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For over 55 years, you've trusted us for roofing, siding, windows, decking, and gutters. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors.
Action! When I grow up, I want to be a director because they get to talk to everybody about everything. They get to make cool movies and dance music videos.
If your child is sick over and over again, it could be PI, a defect of the immune system that affects millions. Early testing can give children a chance to dream.
And when I'm a director, I get to say, lights, camera, action.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
That's a wrap.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The AP 2024 All-Pro team has been announced. No Seahawks made the list, though Leonard Williams, Devin Witherspoon, Michael Dixon, Julian Love, and Jackson Smith-Njigba all received votes. Ohio State and Texas will meet in the Cotton Bowl today, with the winner set to face off against Notre Dame in the College Football Playoff Championship.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Bump, how would you describe being in QB purgatory? Like, what does that look like to you? I think there's a couple different definitions, but if I said, this team's in quarterback purgatory, what team do you think of? What kind of situation do you think of? What's it look like?
I think of the New Orleans Saints, Vegas Raiders. I think of the Jets.
Yes, the Jets are a good one.
I don't know, who do you think of?
Well, I now think of, Curtis brought this up as an example, but the Denver Broncos for a while when they were just cycling and trying all these different approaches. We're going to go with a second-round pick. We're going to go with a first-round pick. We're going to make a massive trade for Russell Wilson. None of it worked.
Nothing
until they went
Giants.
Got Sean Payton and Bo Nix, I guess.
I mean, they thought they had their guy. They weren't really rotating,
Yeah, they
but
really did
they threw Danucci out there a little bit.
Mostly I think of QB carousel, I would say. Like, I associate quarterback purgatory with QB carousel, and those probably don't need to be the same things. But it's just kind of how I see them. I'm curious, Mac and Jack's text line, whenever you're done complaining about A-Rod, if you could text in, kind of what you think of when you think of a QB purgatory. And then, importantly, obviously this is where we're getting, whether or not Seattle is one of those teams. 866-979-3776. I don't think Seattle's in QB purgatory, but I understand why. I think it was a couple days ago, Mike Salk used the phrase to describe it, and I totally get why he did it. He's saying his point is, that Geno can't be your quarterback of the future by virtue of his age, and because there are question marks about whether Geno is good enough to elevate you to a Super Bowl team if you're still flawed. So if you're still an incomplete roster, is Geno Smith good enough to make up for it? The same way we're talking about Josh Allen with a Buffalo Bills roster that doesn't have, a lot of big names on it. He's good enough, man. Not a lot of quarterbacks for Josh Allen. He's probably going to be MVP. So the Bills are not in quarterback purgatory. The teams that are in the playoffs are not in quarterback purgatory. They're just, some of them are in interesting situations, but I think that to some people, the Seahawks are.
I don't think they are. I think that about 5 franchises have quarterbacks that they know are going to be their guys for 5 to 6 years, right? Probably the Bills, probably more than 5. Let's go the Bills, the Ravens, Cincinnati, Houston, Kansas City. In the AFC, probably 1 or 2 more that I missed. Let's go the Chargers as well. But that is the NFL, is that you're always looking for the guy. And once you have the guy, he's going to sign a 10-year contract worth $50 million a year, and you're going to be good to go. I think Geno is the quarterback of the future. For the next 2 to 3 years, I think he can be that guy. He's not the quarterback of the future that you expect to elevate your team to a different place. He's a guy who's going to need some help. But we've shown, or the league has shown, that you don't need a guy to elevate your team to the next level. You can play with a guy who just runs your stuff and does it well. And the team around him will elevate the team to the next level. I think that is that's the fool's goal to the NFL, is thinking that if you don't have that guy, you can't win. And I don't think that's true. I think we're seeing it with the Rams. I think we're seeing it with the Vikings, with the Lions. Like, Jordan Love isn't great, right? He's not a guy that you see that is going to win games on his own, but he has Josh Jacobs. He has a pretty good offensive line. He's got some things around him. There's only a few guys who can win games like that. So, no, I think Geno is the guy of the future. I think if you don't have your guy that you want to see for 5 to 10 years, you're going to have a guy that you hopefully can have for 2 to 3 years. That's the reality of the NFL, and that's the reality of the Seahawks.
Top answer by far on the Mac and Jack's text line. Do you want to guess if you haven't looked?
Guess what?
Top answer for a team that exemplifies quarterback purgatory.
I think I saw it. The Browns?
The Browns.
Yeah.
By far the most popular answer was the Cleveland Browns. Can't believe I spaced on that one. It's a perfect answer.
That's it.
And it's the same thing of like, they're a team that, because they also had bad records to back up being in quarterback purgatory, they had number 1 overall picks. They had number 2 overall picks and still didn't solve it. Now, that's a separate conversation about what a rotten culture can do to a team and why there are so many teams that for years and years and years have had top 10 picks and don't do anything with it, and why it's not just having a top pick that matters, but another conversation for another day. I see the Seahawks as being not quite in quarterback purgatory, but they are in a weird spot. And it's not necessarily an ideal spot. I think Geno is good enough to be a competitive team if you had a better offensive line. I really do. In fact, I think they'd be in the playoffs with a better offensive line. I don't think they'd be a Super Bowl team with one. I think you got some other stuff to figure out, but maybe that's just by virtue of having a first-year head coach, having had a first-year offensive coordinator. It's the contract situation that makes it tough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you, like, look at Sam Darnold with the Vikings. If J.J. McCarthy ends up not doing anything, or if they trade him away, they're in a similar situation where you have a guy where you're constantly questioning if he's going to be good enough, and you also know that you have to pay him like he is. So with Geno, if Geno was, playing on the first contract he had with Seattle, I'd be like, what a cool thing that happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quarterback purgatory because you don't have a guy that's 24, but outside of that, like, wow, you're in a great situation. Now you got to pay Geno $40+ million. That's trickier.
It is tricky, but I think that the Hawks are in a better situation than a lot of other franchises. And I think sometimes, we tell people, like, worry about your own and focus on you. Every now and then you got to look around the neighborhood and be like, all right, we're doing okay. All right, things might not be ideal here when it comes to having your super elite quarterback who's trying to win a Super Bowl in MVP conversations every single year. Only a few teams can do that. Every now and then you got to look around the neighborhood and be like, you know what? We're actually doing okay. Because the Browns are in a situation, the Jets are in a situation, the Raiders are in a situation, the Titans are in a situation. And there are worse situations that you could be in. And it's not like you can't build where you're at. It's not like you're in swampland and the city's telling you, nah, man, this land's protected. No, you can build here. You can build, and you can build and prepare for the next quarterback to come in. And while you're building, you can still win some ball games and be competitive.
That's the most important part. It really is. Not to interrupt, but please keep speaking on that, because I think that people think not having the answer long-term at quarterback equals you might not be able to win for a long time.
No, I think you can win. And I said this at the beginning of the year, and people call me crazy. You can win a Super Bowl with Geno. I 100% believe that. If your O-line is one of the best in the game, if your defense is trending in the right direction, if you have weapons on the outside, you can win. That's why I hope this year, I don't think it's going to happen. I think the elite quarterbacks are going to win a Super Bowl. I think it's either going to be
like
Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, one of those guys, right? But I would love to see a Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl, or someone who's not considered extremely elite. Just to give an example, like, look, you can do this. Do you think if the Lions get to the conference championship, let's say the Lions haven't been balling the last 3 years, and this is like that first go around, and they get to the conference championship, like last year, it was their first time, right? Mm-hmm. They get there and they lose. The season wasn't a waste. It wasn't a wash. You did something with a quarterback that no one really expects you to do something when you got to almost the pinnacle. It's right there. You're building, right? The foundation is being set. So I think that should be the goal. While with Geno, you just keep kind of pushing forward and push forward and win a couple more games and win a playoff game, because hopefully you'll put yourself in a situation where you bring the next guy in and he's able to keep that thing rolling.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. This is not a hot sports radio take because saying I don't know is a horrible opinion, but I don't know if you can win a Super Bowl with Geno. I do know that this team's flaws extend beyond quarterback, and that they did not miss the playoffs because of Geno Smith. They missed the playoffs because they could not do better up front, because they started slow defensively and took a little too long to improve. I mean, don't forget, they gave up 180+ rushing against the Patriots. I know they won that game, but this defense took a minute to kind of hit the ground and really start improving. And yeah, Geno had those red zone turnovers, and maybe if you want to isolate it to one game, you go, if Geno doesn't throw a 100+ yard pick six, against the Rams. They win that game, they're in the playoffs. If that's all you boil it down to, then you can make a case. They did not make the playoffs because of that errant pass by Geno. I just don't think it's that simple. Do I think Geno can elevate them to a Super Bowl team without massive improvements elsewhere? I don't know. Because when I think of the teams that have won with non-superstars at quarterback, go to the Eagles, who obviously went a good chunk of the season with Carson Wentz playing like a dark horse MVP candidate before he got hurt, and then finally get Foles. They were a pretty complete team.
Yeah.
The Lions are a very complete team. The Vikings are a very complete team. They're a very good defense, too. And you can't be flawed and have a question mark. So it's almost like an unfair question to pose. Geno isn't a top 3 passer. Geno is not Josh Allen. Why would you have the same expectations? But can you make your team good enough to where Geno is good enough for you?
Yeah, I think you can. I think that a guy like Geno forces you to always be looking, though, to always see if the grass is greener, to always be looking for this replacement. His age and his performance is going to do that. And I think Geno understands that, too, is that this is a performance-based business. I'm not the elite of the elite, so I must improve on some things every single year because they're going to be looking to replace me. That's just the NFL. There are only a few guys in this league who have the most job security one could think of at the quarterback position. If you're not one of those 3 to 5 guys, they're always looking to replace you.
Yeah.
That is the job of the GM and the head coach, to make this team better. So can you make this team better while Geno is your guy? Most definitely. Does that mean you do not look for the replacement? No, you're always looking. That's just the reality of the business. And I think everyone involved in this organization understands that.
Can I say, like, the most stupid point that I have about this entire segment, too? That winning Super Bowls is really hard. Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP. My favorite quarterback when I was younger. 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
He was on some really good Packers teams. Didn't they go, was it 3 or like around 13 wins for a couple consecutive years?
13 wins 3 years in a row. They also went 15-1 one year.
Yeah, like they've had some great Packers teams that didn't make it. Drew Brees has one.
Yeah.
There have been some good New Orleans teams that just ran into awful luck.
Phillip
and
Rivers
didn't
ain't
make
got
it.
none.
Phillip Rivers has
He'll
none.
be in the Hall of Fame.
Eli Manning has 2. You know, like I think that the bulk of Super Bowls in the last 20 years have been won by like the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
And even then, you can isolate it further down to Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, accounting for an outsized number. And if the argument stalls around, well, you can't win unless you get Patrick Mahomes, then you may never find that answer. Like, you might never, ever do it. So do you want to just tell yourself there's no other possible way to win a Super Bowl? Because I can name you a couple.
No, I just Googled worst quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl.
Oh, Dilfer.
Number 8 was Ben Roethlisberger. Number 7, Joe Namath. 6, Brad Johnson. 5, Mark Ripken. 4, Jeff Hostetler. You got 3, Doug Williams. 2, Jim Plunkett. And number 1, you have Trent Dilfer.
Mm-hmm.
They were supported. They didn't have to be the best player on their team. They needed to be the manager. They needed to run their offense. They needed to take care of the football, but they were stacked in other places. It's not a formula that has proven to give you the most success. The formula to win Super Bowls is having an elite quarterback. We understand that. But it's not impossible. And when you are a team like the Seahawks, to where you hover around 10, 11 wins, and you're going to have pick 18 through 22 or 23 like that, that's your approach. That's your reality. I think people want a different reality. They're looking at a team and say, well, I want the elite quarterback. I want this. You don't have that. This is what you have.
Oh, there is a reality.
So what's your reality? Your reality is that you got to build a team around Geno, because Geno's good enough to win you some games, but you got to build a team that's good enough to win championships. In the meantime, while you hover around pick 18 to 20 something, you can still try to improve the position. Live in your reality.
Yeah.
Trust me, you don't want to win 2 games and have the number 1, number 2 pick. You don't want that.
You know who would love the number 1 pick and who would probably use it to take a quarterback? Maybe maneuver a trade. But John Schneider. John Schneider would love the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and he would love to be able to take a quarterback with the top 5 pick in the next couple classes. The odds of getting that are pretty low. So the question then becomes, and this is what me and you and countless other hosts in this city are going to be talking about, and what analysts and reporters and fans are going to be talking about. Okay, well, then how do you do it?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do? Like, how do you put this puzzle together? Everyone wants to win a Super Bowl. I loved winning a Super Bowl. That was great.
It was awesome.
I would like to experience that again. So what do you do? And I think it starts by looking at what you have and don't. They don't have a great offensive line. And I think you and I agree they have a quarterback that can do enough. And the conversation about whether they're in quarterback purgatory really is kind of that, really. Like, that's ultimately what we're talking about. Is like, do you have a quarterback that can do enough, or are you hapless? Are you helpless? Are you hopeless?
Yeah. He can do enough. He's got to be supported differently.
There are worse situations to be in, but that does not make this one less puzzling. I think it starts with whether they pay Geno, how much they pay Geno, what they do there. If you guys missed it, Joel Corey was on with us earlier this week. He's a salary cap expert with CBS Sports and talked about what that contract could look like. No, he did not say $50 million. And he also talked about when they may have to decide. That's equally as important. Apparently on March 16th, there's some stuff that kicks in for a deal for Geno, so they need to figure that out before then. It is a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel and Casino. Let's get to headline rewrites. I'm going to do it all day.
Read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, Notre Dame outlasted Penn State last night and will head to the national championship game. What's the real headline?
You know, between last night's game and a potential matchup with Ohio State, I never thought it would be this easy to root for Notre Dame.
You know who they are. The Fighting Irish.
It's like
the Irish.
It's like I saw the headlights coming from behind me. Like for a minute, I was like, "Where's this going?" Oh, there we go. It's so Bump can say Irish.
I'm doing the Irish, the Fighting Irish. Oh, that was my best one.
Is there a word that you love saying
Clip
more?
That was my best one.
That's his favorite
just that?
word.
That was my best one. Okay.
The Irish.
Hey man, Notre Dame, they're tough. They are a tough group. Came back from a 10-0 deficit. You throw a crucial interception. You hold them to a field goal. You get an interception late in the game. That run by their running back, I forget the young man's name, but he's on the 5-yard line. He ran through 3 human beings, kept them legs going. They are a tough team, man. It's fun to watch. I've never rooted for Notre Dame ever, but
never.
Halfway through the season, I realized that Ryan Clark is one of my favorite analysts. His son's on the team, so that gave me something to root for. And then I hear Franklin taking shots at Notre Dame. I go, oh, shots fired. Let's go. Get him up. And you're going out there. And we were talking about Penn State and Notre Dame, and we just assumed they had won a championship like in the last 20 years.
Without thinking, we just kind of assumed.
It's like, yeah, it's Notre Dame and Penn State right now. Notre Dame like 1988, and I forget when Penn State last won one. This is the Blue Bloods got after last night. They did not disappoint. Like I said, I was at my homie's restaurant, the Northern Republic, and we were going nuts in there. Nobody's wearing Notre Dame gear.
Yeah.
No one's wearing Penn State gear, but that game was so exciting.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, a day after interviewing for the Bears job, Pete Carroll will now interview with the Raiders today. What's the real headline?
A team with a bad culture could probably use a culture builder. You don't have a young number 1 overall pick at quarterback that you need an offensive mind for. You just need to figure out how to build.
I think Pete Carroll is one of the few head coaches that can make any situation better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just with his experience, his relationships, vibes alone.
The vibes are right.
You know, Pete Carroll is one of those guys who can adapt, I feel like, because he's had everything. He was in the NFL and got booted out and had to go to the college ranks and build his way back up and help this organization here in Seattle. He's the perfect fit because I think he understands what it's supposed to look like and he can hire the right people to get things going. So I'm excited. I hope we see Pete Carroll on the sideline chewing the heck out of that gum again.
I would love that. I mean, I know that he was already oldest head coach when he was here in Seattle, and his age will be part of that conversation that people have about him when he's hired, no matter what. It may sound very unfair, but I'm just telling you that's a conversation that will be had. That being said, he was sharp as ever when he was here, and he understands the fundamental truths of football and of being a team. And I think that's kind of where the Raiders are.
425, your Irish, was that brogue, is improving with practice.
Again, I think the best
getting
piece
there.
of advice you got, they said you'll be a leprechaun soon.
Yeah.
I think the best piece of advice you got was with the R, rolling the R.
The R helped out.
That's really spiced
Helped
it
out a
up.
lot.
That's taken it to another level.
I'm going to be
Let's
great.
hear one more.
No, the last one was too good. It's got to be natural.
Okay.
Irish.
Yeah, you
that didn't sound
definitely
right.
haven't forced it once so far.
Yeah, that one wasn't the same one.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Ohio State and Texas meet in the Cotton Bowl tonight with a bid to face Notre Dame on the line. What's the real headline?
Ryan Day potentially has 2 more chances to lose his job. No, Ryan Day's not going to lose his job, but I'm telling you right now that we'll be talking about Ryan Day more than we do any individual team or player.
Whoever wins this national championship, can we say this was the toughest road any college team has ever had to win a national
Ohio
championship?
State?
No, for any college team. The first time there's a tournament,
Yeah.
you got to win games. It's not just, okay, BCS, calculate the numbers and let's play one game. Last year, the 4 team, you have to win 2. So this would be impressive if Ohio State were to win this, right? You had to knock out Oregon, and it's just been the gauntlet. It's the first time there's a true gauntlet, and I respect this.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Day should be fine. But if he does lose against Texas, they get blown out. People are going to talk about it, and Kirk better be cool and not talk about Uncle Shay Shay again, or he's going to come after you. But no, I think if whoever wins this one, this is the hardest championship to win in college football history, especially with all the movement that could happen too.
Yeah.
Your guys could be gone as soon as you get eliminated. So I respect this.
Someone said, why does everyone
Right.
hate Notre Dame? I don't hate. I have no.
Man.
I've never had a rooting interest in or against. For or against Notre Dame. So it was just interesting finding myself rooting for them when I've thought, never once have I thought about this program. Never once.
I think it's just they're on national TV every week.
It's just
they have kind of had a
like blue blood, even though they aren't in a conference. But
well, they kind of have an arrogance to them where it's like,
They
yeah,
do.
we should be winning national championships every year, and they haven't won one since the '80s. So it's been a minute.
what college team do you hate the most?
Basketball?
Genuinely, you don't know if you could bring yourself to root for them ever.
I'll never root for Duke in basketball.
Fair.
Never. Football, I don't hate them, but I don't like them. UW.
Wow.
UW.
Our dogs, Matt.
UW.
That's interesting because we have
I
on the
could
record.
I could never root for them. Like I have nothing against them really because my record against them is immaculate, but I could never be like, yeah, they won a national championship. Yeah, they won a game. It's like, okay, good for them. That's
He
what's up.
says that, but he also says,
Oh,
I want UW to win the Apple Cup.
Go Dogs.
That's
Which is a
interesting.
bump.
Which is the truth.
That is clearly one clip. Clearly.
That's so obvious. Curtis, is there a team you hate? You cannot. No, someone couldn't pay you to root for them.
ASU. I think on a more national level, maybe like Ohio State, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to be a Notre Dame fan the whole way, maybe.
Nah, I mean, it feels weird having Notre Dame in this like likability position because it feels kind of like rooting for the Yankees, you know, like
If they're playing the Astros, and you're like, oh god,
like I
this is
guess I'll root for Aaron
awful.
Judge. Twist my arm.
That's how I felt rooting for an unranked Michigan team against Ohio State. That was more closer to like Yankees Astros for me, where I was like, I don't really care for either team. Yeah, here I am.
Here I am.
Here I am.
Go blue.
The
Love
Clippers.
The Clippers? The Clippers?
Could never root for the Clippers.
The Clippers? I see the
They've
Clippers
never
as
done
like, you know that
anything.
three-headed dragon thing
Yeah.
where one of them's like, hey, like,
They're-
that's how I see the Clippers.
Fake LA team.
Oh.
Go back to San Diego.
I've heard their arena is very nice.
Oh, yeah, it's fire, though.
Lova joins us next.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
Just a chance for you on our show here to say something to the fans, to the 12s out there.
Thanks for giving us the opportunity. It's this is why we do what we do. It's for the 12s, man. We want to put out a football team that the city and our fans are proud of, and we did that 10 times this year, and 7 times we fell short. And we're determined to deliver the city a winner and a champion. And we wouldn't be sitting here with the optimism that we have without our fans.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time.
The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Collective Soul, live in concert. January 14th, Muckleshoot Event Center. Collective Soul. Tickets on sale now at muckleshootcasino.com. Don't miss Collective Soul, live January 14th at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Please game responsibly.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years!
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five!
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves. Whatever you like, we'll help you create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week and installed by our own team of experts, not subcontractors. And all with way less mess, hassle, and expense than a tear out. Stop waiting. Call the day, let one of our pros come out. We'll bring our showroom to you, give you an exact quote right on the spot, and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get started on your new kitchen. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Hi everyone, Tom Mustin here with some important information. If you or a loved one were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma within the past few years, listen up because you could be entitled to significant cash compensation. That's right, the weed killer Roundup that was used in homes, farms, and gardens across the country has been linked to causing this type of cancer. So if you or someone you know were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call now and find out if you qualify for a cash settlement. 800-712-2300. That's 800-712-2300. Time to file a claim is running out, so don't delay. We have agents standing by 24/7, so take advantage of this opportunity. The call is free, the consultation is free, and you can find out if you qualify for cash compensation. Call 800-712-2300. That's 800-712-2300. 800-712-2300. Call now. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But if you can't afford treatment, can't work, or can't feed your family, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, and I am proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and child care, so patients can focus on healing. Over the last 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed nearly $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can help us make a difference in our community. Join us on February the 1st for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, inspiration, and community support at the historic Hollywood Schoolhouse in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on February the 1st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Big injury news for the Browns, and for the first time ever, the NFL will relocate a playoff game. That's coming your way in NFL headlines in just a few minutes. Coming your way at 1 p.m., 30 minutes from now, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler joins us to tell us the latest on what he hears about the Seahawks offensive coordinator search. And then we have wild card coming up at 1:30. Our weekly game show continues.
Oh, snaps.
I did an interesting format for this one. No double or nothings, but because there were 6 games, I have 6 rounds. And
We're not gonna get through
I think
6
it's pretty
rounds.
easy. I know.
We're not going to get through.
But I think it's pretty easy. Like, these are questions that I know you guys know the answers to.
I'm all for a win, but that one last week, that wasn't fair.
Listen, we did what we had to do. Sometimes I make these quizzes and, maybe I'm watching Real Housewives. And, maybe I'm doing some work, or I'm talking with Katie, or maybe I'm hanging out with Derek, whatever. And I just kind of, I'm writing down a question, and then I'll talk, and then I'll write down another question.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back and I give you guys the quiz, and I realize that Curtis is being asked insanely difficult questions.
I mean, I take wins. Where I can get them. It's hard to win games.
Hey, the Seahawks don't have a little asterisk next to that win over the Rams, even though the Rams didn't play their starting offensive guys. So, you just take those. Loa Tupu joins us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Hey, Lofa, how's it going?
Good. Bob, Stacy, how we doing?
We're happy to have you. Lofa, we were just having a conversation about whether or not the Seahawks can win a Super Bowl with Geno. What did you make of his season?
Oh, I'm sorry, I cut out there. Can we win a Super Bowl? Absolutely. And what do I make of this season? Yeah, I don't know what just happened there.
I was asking. That's okay. Specifically about Geno. What did you make of Geno's season?
Oh, I thought he had a good season. And statistically, interceptions withstanding, he finished in the top 5 of pretty much every category. Completion percentage was up there. Yards, he set franchise records. In 3 categories. So, the red zone was tough. And other than that, I thought he did a great job.
Hey, what'd you make of this defense, man? I mean, I think obviously it was a big turnaround, right? You got Ernest Jones and Tyrese Knight doing their thing. Actually, no, let me switch my question. What do you make of Leonard Williams not being picked for the Pro Bowl or as an All-Pro?
Oh, he got snubbed for All-Pro as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Because I think those lists came out today, right?
Yeah.
That's a crime, He had one of the best seasons, just pressure rate, everything, 10 sacks, 92-yard interception to the house. I don't think there's another D tackle out there that can do that. And, in fact, I'm going to double down and say I know there's no other D tackle that can do that. So it was, it's a great season for him. And, hopefully it builds on it and goes after the player of the year next year, make that jump. You take away the Pro Bowl and the All-Pro, fine. I'll just go win player of the year. Because if he does this again when teams are and they're already targeting him to try to stop him and slow him down, but there's just so many weapons. To what your first question was, Bob, what did I think of this defense? We started out slow, and we finished strong. And I think the moves at the break after the bye week by John and Mac were huge in, solidifying that linebacking core in the middle, inserting or going out and getting Ernest and then, pairing them up with T. Knight. They look great, together.
Now, the Seahawks were the only 10-win team to not make it to the playoffs, so they're not massively removed from being in the postseason. But what do they need to do to get there? Where do they need to improve?
Well, they got to go back and self-scout, look at everything. The thing that stood out the most for me were the penalties and then the turnovers, turnover margin. I think those are always pretty indicative of success. And to have 10 wins when those aren't in your favor, I think we're in one of the top 5 or worst teams penalized. We're in the bottom 5, I guess you would say. And then turnovers, I don't know where we finished, but it was not we were in the minus for a long stretch of the season, so I don't know where we end up finishing, but you get those two things corrected, and that's at least like 2 or 3 more wins. With the analytics that are out there now, like that correlates to like a 13-4 season or even greater. And like now you're talking first seed, number 1 seed, and then pulling out the home games, winning at home, because 7-1 on the road, I believe it's a franchise record. That's unbelievable. But usually it's harder to go on the road. I know it was for me and the boys when we did. We finished at home, but home field advantage has shifted. I mean, I can tell you a number of games. Green Bay, where they were chanting "Go Pack Go," made me want to throw up. The Bills, it was like a sea of red. The Giants, they were out in full force, and then a couple other games. But it's just that's got and to do that you got to win at home, right? Give people a reason to stay and cheer. So, but those are a couple areas I think that we can grow and learn from, but unbelievable first season for McDonald and the crew. And 10-7. To be disappointed at 10-7 is incredible. With everything that's kind of happened.
Hey, Loaf, were you surprised when Grubb was fired, and what type of guy do you think they should be bringing in?
I was surprised. 1 year for everybody to get your system down. I know another offseason would have gone a long way in terms of guys fully grasping the game plan and what he does and why he does it, right? I think that's the biggest important for any coach as a teacher, you explain the why. But, it's just I thought he was a masterful play designer. I think play call or timing was a bit of an issue, especially when we got down the red zone. It's just the Bears game stands out to me. It's like you ran it 7 out of 10 plays, all the way down to, like a 10-yard line, and then we dropped back 3 straight times. That was a little confusing. And but there's so many times that I was just impressed by his play design and the concept. The Arizona game, you go back and watch that in Arizona, it was an unbelievable job, run, pass, everything. The creativity and innovation that he pulled out for that one. I thought we found our way, but then it just seemed like we got, back to just airing it out a bunch, after like a 4-game win streak. So I want to see, someone that just not just runs the ball, but they don't give up on it. They give it a chance, right? Even I think sometimes we got tired as a defense because, you're out there a while when, you go 3 and out or you punt or you get a turnover, right? You're just out there for, having that balance just to slow the game down because, again, this is a defensive-minded head coach, and that's how we always think, us defensive players, right? Either give us points or just take a little time off the clock. We need something.
Hey, Lofa, what take did you find yourself kind of yelling from the rooftops this year? Like, I found myself talking about the offensive line every single game. And I know that there were some people who kept talking about Geno's red zone interceptions. Other people were defending him. Maybe it has nothing to do with Geno. But what, take or point did you find yourself saying over and over this year?
Let me see. It was just get the ball back. As a defense or defender, former defender, I just think about what could we have done, to impact the game. But the cool thing was just seeing all these touchdowns after, that like the few that we had, like Kobe and then Leonard, Big Cat. It was like, man, like that changes the game entirely. So, but we always strive. We wanted at least 3 turnovers on defense. Three or more is what we always shot for, right? That was kind of our metric. And I think every defense kind of starts there because if we can get the offense back the ball 3 times, all right, we're not only, we want to shut them down, don't give them any points, but we want to give the ball back and get more opportunities for our offense. So I think, turnovers, they come in bunches, but we need to see more of those. That's what I kept screaming at the TV.
He is Seahawks great, Loa Tupu. Lofa, fans are always excited when you join. I see it all the time on the text line, so I'll just say hi from everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Loaf.
Oh, well, hello, everybody, and thank you for having me, Stacy and Bob. You guys have a great day.
Bye, Lofa. Taking a look around the NFL next.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
What does lie ahead now for the Seahawks in 2025?
Every day at 7:45.
You have 3 real East Coast road trips this year. Did well. Next year, you got 6 deep road trips.
Really?
How those get put together and how many are back-to-back and how all that plays out will be a little different animal. Now, the quality of team in some of those cases, not great. Some rebuilds along the way, but a bunch of East Coast trips next year.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Start the year fresh with Washington Energy's New Year, New Home Sales event. Upgrade and save 15% on energy-efficient Bryant heating systems for your home. Keep cozy and safe this winter storm season with 15% off Honeywell whole home generators. Prepare for spring with 15% off beautiful Anderson windows and reliable Simonton doors. All on sale now for a limited time. It's the New Year, New Home Sales event with Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Good morning, beat freaks. Who's ready to move? Let's start this day right.
Tasha's morning dance parties are meeting rave reviews.
Lose your phones and find your groove.
They need an ops manager to help their community dance the morning away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply. Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
FX's Say Nothing.
We thought joining the IRA was the noblest thing a person could do.
Northern Ireland, 1971.
They could beat us, they could shoot us, but the one thing they could never get us to do was talk.
Based on the true story and the New York Times bestseller.
You were taught that you were fighting in the name of the people. And I think people should know that it's all lies.
FX's Say Nothing. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
AP First Team All-Pros have been revealed. No Seahawks are among them. I know that you and Lofa took issue with Leonard Williams not being included in this, which I agree is pretty egregious. Let's see, names that you would otherwise completely expect on offense. You've got Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley. Brock Bowers made it as a rookie for the first time. Jamar Chase, obviously he led all receivers. Justin Jefferson's on here as well with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Penny Sewell. I'm going just over names people are going to really recognize. Defensively, Myles Garrett, Chris Jones is on here, Patrick Surtain, Roquan Smith, Fred Warner. I was really happy for Derek Stingley Jr., who had to overcome some injuries at points in his career. He made it with Houston. Houston, sneaky good defensively this year.
Yeah, Houston was all right. Houston was pretty good. You got some normals in there. You know, Fred Warner, who I think is still the best interior linebacker in the game right now. The Chris Jones one, man.
You don't
Popularity
think he deserved
pick. Popularity pick. He's a baller. Don't get me wrong. Like, my man, I think he deserves it, but there is a player who deserved it more than him. And he happens to play for the Seattle Seahawks.
Leonard Williams.
And it drives me crazy that he's not getting his recognition. Not hating on Chris Jones, but if you compare the seasons, then I think Leo is the guy. But no, overall, everyone is deserving. You don't accidentally make All-Pro, but every now and then there's a snub.
You know what's a bummer about the guys that make it based on reputation and what they've accomplished, even in quote down years, is that some of the guys that have those highs may not have them again. Like, I don't know if Leonard Williams next year has 11 sacks. You know?
It's the most he's had in like 4 or 5 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this might end up being a career high in a couple categories for him, and you'd love to see those guys rewarded because they don't get then that kind of like, oh, next year they're great, and they get it because now people are kind of catching on.
Yeah.
It's like that might be it. So
Yeah.
it's a bummer. For the first time ever, the NFL will relocate a playoff game. Monday's Vikings-Ram game will be played at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, as opposed to SoFi Stadium, the Rams' home, because of, obviously, the devastating fires that are happening in Los Angeles right now.
It is wild what's going on, man. The Palisades are destroyed. Like 180,000 people have to evacuate. It's one of the biggest fires in U.S. history. But yeah, it makes sense. That air quality is so bad right now. You got to move the game. It's unfortunate, but the show must go on. And this is when, people kind of go after sports or can go after sports. Like, why are they even playing the game? I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just stop. But if you have anyone in the area, I got family in that area. Hope everybody is safe. Yeah. And it is what it is. It's unfortunate, man. It felt like, I'm from LA, so it felt like we just weren't prepared for this. But it's a natural disaster, man. It's all that.
It's devastating.
Yeah,
the scenes are, and so much of it's residential as opposed to, a wildfire that's kind of creeping in. It's entire neighborhoods.
And the winds. If you know about them Santa Ana winds, they are for real.
Tests revealed Deshaun Watson re-tore his Achilles. I can't believe this. Re-tore his Achilles only 3 months after initially tearing it and having surgery to repair it. So his recovery timeline may cause him to miss the entire 2025 season. It's a minimum 7-month recovery and can obviously go much longer. So if it goes on the long end of that, where it's like, closer to 10 months, 11, he's missing the season. If he ends it where it's on the shorter side, he can still potentially play. A crazy stat about Watson's availability since joining the Browns from Tom Pelissero. His participation since then, 2021, non-participant. 2022, 6 games because of that suspension. 2023, 6 games, injury. 2024, 7 games, injury. He has never played more than 7 games in a season.
It's all bad.
Never, I shouldn't say never, since 2020.
Yeah, that's all bad. I assume that he re-injured himself while rehabbing, right? Like working on this game. I doubt that he was just walking around and it happened, but it gets worse and worse for Deshaun Watson, man, and for the Cleveland Browns. That is the worst deal in sports history. Nothing's going to top this, at least not in our lifetime.
Yeah.
This is wild.
Yeah, there are some trades that, obviously were horrible and are much older. I thought potentially it would be the Russell Wilson one, but no, the Browns came in there and said, we got this, guys. Don't worry. You won't have to sit with that for long, Denver.
No, we got you.
We'll take this.
Deshaun, it's unfortunate for him, but he's paid.
Yeah.
All that money guaranteed, and he's good to go.
The NFL has announced the Jags, Browns, and Jets will play games in London in 2025. Now, the Seahawks have a shot at playing in London because they have a road game against Jacksonville next season.
I beg you,
please.
Seahawks, make this happen. Send the squad to London. The last time they went, I couldn't make it because I was a head coach and couldn't dip out on my team. I went to Germany a couple years ago. Send us to London town, please.
Do you think you could convince people there you're Irish?
Irish?
I think that was maybe your best one.
Let's go. Practice makes perfect. Matt, remember that.
Wow, Matt, you don't look as impressed as I was. I thought the rolling R on that one was really powerful. It was very powerful.
Show me some love. Show me some love.
It was so good. You
Thank
should probably never, ever do it again just because it's never going to get better.
That's part of who I am.
Part of your brand.
I'm pretty sure if I did the DNA stuff, I have some Irish in me.
You're like Irish,
guaranteed.
basically. It sounds like
I know the hairs on my beard look great. It's really red.
Mm-hmm.
It's really red.
Next up, Colts GM Chris Ballard says they will bring in another quarterback this offseason to compete with Anthony Richardson, for the starting job, mainly because Richardson hasn't shown an ability to stay healthy. Anthony Richardson was so fascinating to me when he was drafted, and we talked about him a lot because we thought there was a potential.
I low-key wanted him here.
I know. I thought there was potential the Seahawks would take him. He ended up going at 4 to the Colts. Seahawks at 5 took Devin Witherspoon, but we thought it might happen. He's been physically still just as gifted. It hasn't shown up at times.
He's been exactly who he was in college.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
I mean, he completed 50% of his passes, only played in 14 games or something like that. We fall in love with that athleticism, and I understand why. But if you're not dominating at the college level at quarterback, why would we expect you to do it at the NFL level?
The only case I have, just top of mind, would be Josh Allen, who was 50% passer. People likened him to Jake Locker, where they were like, he's really mobile. He's got this huge arm. He's really athletic. He could play safety, but we've got him at quarterback. If we could just get the accuracy under control. And then he gets to the league and it's not under control. It is not under control, but he's still moving. He's scooting. So you're thinking well, maybe he can do something with this. But the difference is Richardson hasn't been able to stay on the field and at least have that.
And
at least have his legs.
Josh Allen was producing touchdowns. He was turning the ball over, but he was producing touchdowns. Anthony Richardson's not staying healthy, not producing touchdowns. Looks like a bad pick so far.
Next and last story, Al Michaels told the Athletic Sports Media podcast he doesn't plan to retire and will continue calling games for Amazon in 2025.
Well, I want to make sure, number one, I'm healthy enough, which I am right now as we're recording this. I want to make sure I still have the passion for it. And I know I do. So you have those two factors that are key. I love the people I'm working with. I love being with those people. We have fun. So apart from when we're on the air, we have a lot of laughs, there's a lot of joy and a lot of fun. So why would I want to leave that? If I still feel I can do this, if I'm healthy enough. And people say, well, why don't you can retire and go play. I can play all the golf I need to play, Rich. I don't have to play any. It's diminishing returns these days, too. So all I know is I still get excited walking into a stadium. I still love to do what I do and working with the people I love. So why walk away?
Why walk away? I still enjoy listening to Al Michaels. In my mind, he's like a sports voice. I love that he's not retired.
Al Michaels stops when he's ready. Simple as that. He's an OG in the game. I think the product is still good. He stops when he's ready.
I have awful news. The 347 in New York says, Stacy, the Irish don't roll their R's, the Scots do.
Well, someone gave me horrible advice, and it's
Someone
working.
told Bump to roll the R.
Wow, that's cultural appropriation.
Irish. I don't know. Are we sure the Irish people don't roll their R's? We'll Google this. We'll do some research during the break. And when we get back, we'll bring on ESPN's Jeremy Fowler to talk about who's talking to who when it comes to the Seahawks OCs.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Jeff Hassan, good morning.
When we are sitting around waiting desperately for something to happen, do you think sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking that some action is better than no action? I don't know how many compelling things there are out there right now, and so I hate to say to Mariners fans, like, maybe the lack of action is better than action for action's sake.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Where can you kick off the new year with big savings on gig speed? Only with Xfinity, now through January 16th. Get gig internet at home for $25 a month for 1 year when you add an unlimited mobile line, which connects you to gig speed Wi-Fi on the road. Act fast today and save more than $650 over AT&T and Verizon in your first year. Plus, hurry and take advantage because right now you can also get a free 5G phone with trade-in. So save big and stay connected to what you love with fast gig speed internet and mobile. From home to hotspots, this new year, it's all about gig speeds and big savings. Don't wait and get gig speed internet. Spend less green and switch to Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com/gig savings to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Welcome Line and AT&T Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Starter Line. Xfinity internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call a day for a free in-home estimate. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
When searching for the most advanced prostate cancer treatment, excellent outcomes, minimal side effects, and a short treatment course, CyberKnife at Swedish is top of the list. Swedish CyberKnife patients report a better quality of life both during and after treatment. Swedish CyberKnife treats patients from all over the Pacific Northwest. So if you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Want a simple New Year's resolution that's guaranteed to succeed? I'm talking about doing what I did and reversing that clock on hair loss. The same quick, simple one-day hair loss treatment I received from Advanced Hair begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's even guaranteed to grow for life. You decide how much and where, and Advanced Hair does the rest. I'm speaking from personal experience. The results have been truly life-changing, and Advanced Hair has helped tens of thousands of folks just like you and me. It's why world-class Dr. Perungo and Advanced Hair are the winners of the 425 Business of the Year. So celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get 250 free hair grafts and $250 off. Schedule your free consultation at 425-449-8185. See what meeting your New Year's resolution could look like with the before and afters at advancedhair.com. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
I never considered myself to be a heavy drinker. At first, I only drank with friends, then to get through the day. I hit rock bottom when I realized I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. With my doctor's help, I was diagnosed with alcohol use disorder. Now, I'm getting to the root of my addiction and finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Coming to the Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Thursday night, March 13th. It's Keith Sweat. The legendary R&B artist Keith Sweat. Get your tickets while they last at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss Keith Sweat, March 13th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older. Need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Cressy Garage Doors. If you're in the market for new garage doors, Cressy Door has been offering quality service since 1952. Best selection, best price. Cressy Door.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. Call 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878. 800-948-7878.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles again and underwent another surgery yesterday, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. His timeline to return could be at least 7 months, which does give him a chance to play in the 2025 season, though that feels unlikely. Browns general manager Andrew Berry said Monday before this report that Watson had suffered a setback. Watson suffered his first torn Achilles on October 20th.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. It's a Football Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Bump, you're now getting a lot of people saying you've gone to Scottish. You're full Scottish.
Same island.
When you think about
Same
it,
island.
yeah, I mean, I think
Just
that
saying.
Scots and Irish people would be upset and offended, but I don't think they should be.
You know what? I grew up watching Braveheart. William Wallace.
Yeah.
So
he dies. I'm so sorry.
I have to interrupt.
Spoiler alert.
It is the same kingdom. It is not the same island.
Are you sure, Matt?
No.
Am I sure?
No.
Are you positive?
Don't believe it.
When's the
Don't
last
believe
time?
it.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't know
literally
what
looking at a map of the United Kingdom right now.
Well, maps
look,
aren't real.
And how do we know that
Maps aren't real.
that these aren't kind of connected by potentially if there's a bridge, you know what I mean, a tunnel, like those could connect. Matt, I'm done. I've had it with your facts. You know,
No,
you're bringing the vibes.
We don't live in reality.
We don't live in
here.
reality. The reality we live in, Bump and I, on this side of the studio, is that Scotland and Ireland are the same island.
Same island.
The same Ireland.
That's all I'm saying. I see what you did.
Matt, how upset are you right now to be at work today?
I'm so upset. I'm very thankful that it's Friday, and I'm just going to keep looking at this map for the rest of the day.
Look, I think that the Mac and Jack's text line is just trying to help you out. They know how much it matters to you.
They're on my dome.
They know how much it matters to you to be able to get your Irish accent down. And I think we went from Irish to Irish, and like it's very, full-bodied. But I think you can get it,
I like who I am.
I do too.
And I like the way I say things.
Yeah. Someone said Wazoo education. I didn't have to read that text. We're going to see if we can reach out to Jeremy Fowler to get him on here to talk about a couple rumored candidates for the Seahawks offensive coordinator position. Earlier in the day, we had on Lomas Brown, who's a Lions broadcaster, to talk about Hank Fraley, and he sounded, Bump, so enamored with Fraley. Like, he could not say enough good things about him. Did that in any way sway you towards Hank as a potential candidate for OC?
Yeah, definitely. It made me I like that. I had concerns, right? During Florida Island territory, I said, what's the concern of having an offensive coordinator that is an O-line guy. There are plus and minuses, but I think that for what Mike McDonald wants to do, it makes complete sense. He wants a guy who can establish the run, be a good teacher with this offensive line, get them to execute at a different level. So, no, it sways you when you have someone speak about a candidate who knows them, who knows how they think, how they teach, and what they do. So, yeah, I'm intrigued for sure.
Would a lack of play calling experience concern you? Because while Grubb didn't have play calling experience at the NFL level, obviously, he had previously been a coordinator. Hank Fraley is not.
Yeah, there's always, man, it does concern me, but what I do love about the O-line guys is that the box is taken care of, man, and that is so important. And there's always guys that you can lean on too. Like his pass game coordinator is going to help out in that situation if you were to get the job. It is a concern because you don't know what it's like calling plays until you are in the mix, till it's 3rd and 3 and you got to make a call, until you're on the goal line and you're trying to figure out, all right, are we going to run or are we going to throw it here? There are things that you just don't know. So it's a concern, but I think fundamentally the box will be taken care of, and I think that's what's most important.
Do you think that for Mike McDonald, he's looking at that background mattering just as much, or maybe also just like a willingness to be stubborn? I mean, we had Loa on with us earlier, and he said that one of the things he would have liked, and he tried to stick with like, look, I'm a former linebacker. I'm going to talk about what the defense could have done, but he did say he would have loved to see more of a stubbornness with the run.
I think that Mike McDonald is going to get exactly what he's looking for. Second time around, he is going to find the mentality, the professionalism, the demeanor, because I think that first time around, he thought he was looking for something and he got it. And once you get into the season and you start figuring out who your partner is and what they do and what they don't do, you're like, dang, man, well, maybe this isn't exactly what I was looking for. So whatever the process is, whoever he picks, I think that I support it 100% because he's been through the trials. He's had his failures. And combined with John Schneider, I think that they're going to get the right guy for the job.
Another name we've heard linked to the job is Clint Kubiak, who was OC for the New Orleans Saints. They had a really strong start to the season, dropped like 40-plus points in back-to-back weeks. Clint Kubiak was kind of the talk of the town, as were the Saints, and then that team cooled off. And unfortunately, like many of you, I didn't watch a ton of Saints games this year, so I have no idea whether it was Clint, whether it was the offense or the personnel, but let's find out a bit more about this story. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler joins us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Jeremy, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you joining us. I wanted to get started with your report about Clint Kubiak potentially drawing interest. What did you make upon hearing that, of that link? And then also, what do you make of the Seahawks OC search? Are there other names that intrigue you?
Yes, so it's going to be an interesting search. I do expect some other names to pop up, but Clint Kubiak is, well-respected coordinator. Saints got off to a hot start last year before tapering off, but they also had a lot of injuries. So teams aren't really holding that against him. He'll have options, not as a head coach, but as a coordinator. And then, look, it's possible he could stay in New Orleans, too, if a defensive-minded coach comes in and wants to keep the staff intact. But right now, Seattle or Cleveland, I expect him to talk to both of those teams.
What's the we're assuming here in Seattle that Grubb is probably going to go to Bama. Nothing's guaranteed, but I guess that makes the most sense. Do you think that he did enough in his first year to, if he wanted to stay in the NFL and try to get another coordinator job or just a position job, he's done enough? Or do you think that the reputation has been damaged a bit and he should go to the college ranks?
Well, my understanding is that his coordinator style might be better suited for college. That I wouldn't write it off. I think he did an admirable job. It's just him and Mike McDonald had different visions. It sounds like, there was just, as far as offensive approach, some uneasiness at times, and obviously running the ball was a struggle at times. So I can't imagine he would be a hot commodity as an NFL coordinator, but certainly, he's capable enough and considered a good offensive mind that he could maybe get some looks in the NFL. But I agree with you in that seems to be the consensus among other coaches around the league, is that in regards to the Seattle situation, they always thought that maybe he would go back with Kalen DeBauer in Alabama and just try to recoup there. And, they're familiar with each other and they've had a lot of success together. So that would probably make the most sense.
Jeremy, you are obviously connected to a ton of people in the NFL world, and I'm sure that you heard a lot about Mike Macdonald before he was hired. What did you hear about him, and did you see that during the season now that we're a year into his tenure?
I'm sorry, did I see which part?
What did you hear about Macdonald, heading into his first season, and then did you see that play out, or, what did you make of his first year?
Yeah, I mean, I went into his first year and his tenure just thinking that he was a very sharp-minded, bright guy. Like, he's got good ideas. He's very thoughtful. And, he comes from he's a high achiever dating back to his high school days and kind of like a, summa cum laude type student, business major. Could have been an Ivy League type guy, was coaching at I believe a high school level while he was either in high school or early in college. So he was always kind of a step ahead. It was with him going to Seattle, that just made sense as far as that. I just saw that as the kind of hire that they would make, so it seems to be a fit as far as city, fan base, and team. And really, the first year, considering some of the offensive hurdles they had, I thought it was a success. You don't sneak into the playoffs, but anytime you win 10 games, it's hard to call that a failure, certainly. And especially with where they were trending going to the bye week, he clearly made adjustments and showed he could make adjustments. And that's important, So they came out of the bye playing a lot better and got on a little run. And so I do think the future's bright there.
Hey, Jeremy, the Seahawks are in a weird position. Stacy and I have been talking about it today and almost every day this week. They're good enough to be a playoff team, right? You miss it by a game or two, but they're not bad enough for a high draft pick, and that just shifts the focus to Geno Smith. Like, what do you think the potential is with Geno Smith? Can the Hawks build a team around him that makes them contenders, or do you think that you get with Geno and you're not ever really going to be contenders with him?
Well, certainly I think you can contend with him. I don't know what the ceiling is as far as Super Bowl or not, but I look at Baker Mayfield, who keeps getting better in Tampa because he's in a similar system, even though they switched coordinators from Dave Canales to Liam Cohen this last year. They got even better because he had good weapons around him and knew how to run the ball. So if they keep Geno Smith and they put a little more of a stable running game around them with the passing options that they have. I mean, he's coming off of a career high in passing yards, I believe, 4,300 plus yards. So, it's hard to complain with that. So it just really depends on whether they want to pay him. I mean, really, that's the potential deterrent here. If he wants a massive contract and they don't want to give it to him, then you have an issue. So, we'll see where that goes. And maybe he wants to play one more year and play out his contract and hit free agency where he'd probably do pretty well. So it could be maybe a little bit like a Sam Darnold situation. But I take those three, Geno, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, in very similar boats and weight classes as far as what they can do as quarterbacks, showing that you can be a high draft pick who didn't have success for a while, but you can be resurgent. So, I think Seattle certainly would be the sensible pick to bring him back. I do think at some point they're going to pull the trigger on a draft pick somehow, some way, right? Like they've never taken that big swing. And not that you have to. You saw what happened with Indianapolis. They didn't take a draft pick high for a long time, finally take Anthony Richardson. Hasn't worked out so well. So you're not required to do that if you can find a way to win games without it. But at some point, like I think of J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota, like there were rumblings last year that Seattle was intrigued by J.J. McCarthy. Now, would they go and try to trade for him with Minnesota, or would Minnesota even do that? Probably not. But I remember hearing that and thinking, okay, well, like they've obviously done a lot of homework on these quarterbacks over the years. One day they will get a guy there if they pick high enough or if the right quarterback's there. But like you said, if you're picking 15th, 15th every year or 20th, it's hard to get the guy because you're not high enough to do it.
Hey, Jeremy, stepping outside of Seattle, which head coaching vacancy is to you personally the most interesting?
Ooh, let's see. I would say, kind of go through the six. I'm going to say Jacksonville because on paper it's probably the best job. You're in a weak division. It's probably the best roster of the 6 teams available. You have a quarterback in place, even though he struggled at times. Trevor Lawrence is considered salvageable. A new coach would want to work with him. And you have an owner who's not meddling, and they spent $320 million on the roster last year, like they're willing to spend. So, but the problem is, well, it's not really a problem, but the reality is a lot of people around the league are talking about the GM there, Trent Baalke, who has survived the Doug Peterson firing. Is he going to be there long term, or is he going to be there one more year, or is a new coach going to want to replace him? And does that new coach even have that kind of clout to ask for that? Like, those questions are interesting to me. I don't know all the answers to them, but that's sort of what's being debated around the league right now.
What do you think the Seahawks should do with DK Metcalf? Like, we know his potential, right? He's a downfield threat, really explosive. You don't find DKs walking around. But with the emergence of JSN, some people or at least fans and texters of our show are saying, let DK go and just focus on JSN. I think he's going to ask for at least $25 million. What do you think the Seahawks should and will do with him?
Well, I guess it depends on when he's asking for it, right? What is he, 1 year away from free agency? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1 year away, yes. The contract is going to be something that's going to have to be addressed at some point. That's a tough call. I'm with you. I think for $25 million a year, they would probably do it. He's still young enough, and the market is well above $30-35 million. So if he's asking for 25, I think they would probably do that. That's my guess. My guess is also that he'll ask for more than that. So that's an interesting dynamic, because he could have trade value, or he would have trade value, and there'd be teams out there that would be willing to make him a number one. But it's tough because he's a really, really good player. But he's not in that really top 10 conversation anymore, I don't think. At one point he was. And JSN did emerge as sort of the guy, at the very least, or at the highest, the one, at the very least, a 1A to DK, where they're kind of co-number one. So I don't know. But I still go back to, like, if it's third down and Geno Smith's throwing and he looks and DK's got one-on-one coverage, he's throwing to DK every time. Mm-hmm. So, he still demands that kind of respect and attention. And that's why I'd have a hard time believing they would move on. But I don't know. There have been some rumblings of that in the past. Would they look into trading him, or, would he be happy there long term? There could be something there. I just don't know yet.
Leaving us with some good stuff to talk about, though. He is ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Jeremy, this is, I know, a really hectic time of the year for you, and it's about to get even crazier. So we appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Hey, anytime. Thank you.
What did you make of Jeremy's last point? I thought he set it up nicely, which was, look, it comes down to if I decide whether or not to pay someone. If it's 3rd and 5, make or break playoff moment, and I see DK, am I going to DK? And if the answer is yes, would that not be worth consideration?
I think that there are a couple places you can go on this team, though.
Yeah.
And I think that's a plus. I think you can go JSN, you can go DK. You can go K9 or Charbonnet. Mm-hmm. I think they're unless you have like a top 3 receiver in the game, you have a Justin Jefferson, a Jamar Chase, a CD Lamb, you're going to look at a bunch of options when it's 3rd and 5, right? So it's I like the way he set it up, but there are only about 3 receivers in the game where I tell myself, you're going to him on this play regardless of what's happening. I don't think you have that talent on this team. You have a few guys you can go to because they all possess certain traits and characteristics.
Yeah. Can I get to, before we move to a quick 4-down territory, like feel-good story for 30 seconds? From Adam Schefter, obviously the Rams-Vikings game had to be relocated from L.A. to Glendale, Arizona, to play at the Cardinals Stadium because of the fires that are in L.A. The Cardinals, to a divisional rival, sent 2 of the team's planes to Los Angeles to pick up the team, staff, their families, 6 dogs and 2 cats, and are bringing them to Arizona tonight. The Cardinals are also turning over their training facility for the Rams to use in advance of that Monday night game against the Vikings. Look at that.
It ain't free. It ain't free. You know
free?
They paying for that.
No.
They paying for that gas.
That's so nice.
No, yeah, we're going to send you over. We'll give you a discounted price, though. It ain't free, though.
Here I everyone's going, wow. Wow.
Let's
get to a super quick 4-down territory.
This is 4-down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
All right, first down, what's something the NFC West doesn't want to see happen outside of brotherly love and support?
You don't want to see Salah back in this division. Rumor has it he's going to interview or has interviewed for the 49ers job and some other jobs as well. Man, he turned that defense around, took over in 2017, they were 24th overall. And then the next year, they were 13th overall. The next year, they were 2nd overall. And then when he left, they were 5th overall. You need to have talent, that's for sure. But you need to have a guy who can execute a game plan. He helped over here with Seattle as well. I think Salah back in the division, this makes it that much tougher. And I'm looking at all the teams in the division. It feels like everyone's on the come up. Yes, the Rams are getting old at the quarterback position, but they still find ways to win. The Arizona Cardinals, I think, has some talent to work with over there, and the Seahawks, man. So you don't want to see Salah, and the Niners will be the Niners. They got to figure out some money stuff, but you do not want to see Salah back in this division because that means the Niners are going to be a bit more efficient on defense.
Second down. Now, we asked Jeremy Fowler about the most intriguing one, but Bump, we'll ask you, what's the worst head coaching job available in the NFL?
The worst has to be Nolans. You don't want to go to New Orleans, man. They don't have a quarterback over there, a franchise quarterback. They got a top 10 pick, but the draft isn't deep when it comes to the quarterback talent. They're minus $61 million when it comes to the salary cap. There's just nothing there. The only attractive part about that is that I think the division is open. I think Atlanta obviously is a good football team. They didn't make the playoffs, so Tampa Bay is doing well. But there's just nothing really to work with. You have a running back who's getting old in Kamara. He hasn't reached 1,000 yards not once in his career, but he does contribute in the receiving game. There isn't much on that roster. There's not a lot of money to work with. You don't have a franchise quarterback. But any coordinator looking to make a jump is going to take any job that they can. I'm just saying out of the, 6 that are available, I wouldn't touch New Orleans.
Third down. What's a concern you would have if an offensive line guy becomes the Seahawks OC?
The only concern I would have is just the pass game. Now, you got to have a good pass game coordinator. Not to say that offensive line guys don't know the pass game. That's just not their forte. You can say that about quarterbacks and receivers who become coordinators. You question the run game. You know, how committed they're going to be to that. I love the idea of an offensive line guy being the offensive coordinator because the line's going to be taken care of. They're going to be taught in a way and spoken to in a way that they connect with. There's nothing like having a guy who played your position, teach your position, and focus on the details. So, no, that would be my only concern is just, all right, what's the pass game going to look like? How are you going to link it up with the run game? But either way, I believe that Mike McDonald is going to find the right guy for the job, and run will be an emphasis. It should be a lot more efficient.
Fourth down. We spoke with Lions broadcaster Lomas Brown earlier in the show. If you guys missed it, go check it out. It'll kick off hour 2 of the Bump and Stacy podcast. What stood out to you from that interview?
He was talking about how you have something good going on in your organization when your assistants are talked about. And that's what we hear with the Lions and with other organizations. So I can't wait to see when that starts happening with the Seahawks. He also said he needs the offensive line to fit like a hand in a glove, and I've never heard the offensive line described that way. I use 5 pennies instead of a nickel. That's essentially the same thing. You guys have to move together, and I think that if you do get an offensive line guy, that's something that will be preached and will be taught. You guys have to move together and be together. It's the most important position in football other than the quarterback. So it was a good conversation with Mr. Brown earlier.
Yeah, really, really enjoy. I love talking to him. That's like the second or third time we've had him on. I think we had him on for a Lions preview for the Huddle. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. That's coming your way at 45 after. Again, any question, text it to the Mac and Jack's text line, 866-979-3776. A wild card trivia showdown coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
This is Brian Walters, was on yesterday. Of course, does great work on the pregame show. Here's what he said about a reason Geno might not return.
Once I saw Grubb get fired, then I started having doubts. And for some reason, I feel like there could be a complete offensive overhaul. And if they've decided that Geno's not their guy, then I think they're going to do it with the whole offense.
Talking about a complete offensive overhaul. You see that as a possibility?
Is a possibility? Yeah, I think everything is on the table.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, what's up? It's Michael Bumpus here to talk to you about Silver Reef Casino. The holidays are over. We are in the dead of winter. It's getting cold and rainy. Don't get depressed. Make some plans. Visit silverreefcasino.com. They will help you out. They got a lot of things going on in the month of January. January 18th at 8 p.m. You can have a 24-karat magic experience. It's the ultimate Bruno Mars tribute band, and the tickets are cheap. They're starting at $12. So if you're interested, go to silverreefcasino.com. That's silverreefcasino.com. And you can stay there. They got deluxe rooms with great views of Mount Baker, the Salish Sea. They have amazing restaurants that are on site. You don't have to go anywhere. You can gamble, you can drink, you can eat, have some fun. They have something for everyone. So if you are interested, visit silverreefcasino.com. That is silverreefcasino.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Get in zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-330-2929. 800-330-2929. 800-330-2929.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales Event, going on right now through January 19th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event, going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Do you need a new roof? Don't wait for summer to replace it. 3 Tree Roofing is here to help you save big this winter. Avoid summer's higher prices and longer wait times and protect your home's integrity now. Visit 3treeroofing.com for your free on-site estimate. Our certified installers make it easy and worry-free, no matter the season. Don't wait. Book your estimate today at 3treeroofing.com. Mention this ad and get $500 off your roof replacement. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This time next week, I'll be sick in bed with West Nile virus, thanks to a mosquito bite right in front of my house.
In 8 minutes, my daughter will be in an ambulance, having an asthma attack, triggered by cockroaches.
I'm going to be bitten by a tick today. I won't even know it until Lyme disease turns my life upside down.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Wild card, 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 wild card.
Time now for the wild card.
Ooh.
Big voice.
All right, you guys have, I was going to have 6 rounds for all 6 games, but I ended up completely eliminating Ravens. Steelers. I just didn't have anything good for it. I was trying to do it during the break, and I was like, I don't have anything. And then I combined 2 of them. So, Curtis, you're going to have a Commanders question. Bump, you're going to have an Eagles question, even though those 2 are obviously not playing each other. But the point is that I got the times for these games. Wild card, wild card, wild card. We're going to start with Chargers at Texans. They're opening up wild card weekend with your Saturday afternoon game at 1:30 p.m. Bump. Consider defense wins championships to be the motto for the Texans this year. That offense is just okay. They're basically the Seahawks with a better run game. But the defense is maybe the fastest in the league. That's according to Chargers OC Greg Roman. He's going to have to figure out how to fix that approach. They finished second in interceptions this year with 19. Congratulations,
Nice.
Texans. Who finished first?
Vikings.
The Vikings. Wow, that was so quick. You could take your time with answers.
Oh, so the team that is in the land with lots of lakes. Lots of lakes over there.
Yes.
And it gets really cold.
That's enough.
I believe the Mighty Ducks are from there.
They are.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm going Vikings.
Curtis,
Hey.
your question is about the Chargers. The Chargers really, it's going to be multiple choice. The Chargers really fumbled the bag in their last playoff appearance, taking on the Jags in the wild card round on January 14th, 2023. At one point in the first half, they had a blank lead. Do you already know offhand, or do you want me to give you the choices?
I might know, but I want to hear some choices.
30-0, 27-0, 10-0.
It was a 27-0 lead. Final answer.
27-0 at one point in the first half is correct, and then they ended up falling 31-30. So they scored, what, 3 more points?
Yeah, they just got another field goal, and that was it.
1-1 tie. We're going to Broncos at Bills. That is your Sunday morning game. Again, I skipped Ravens Steelers is your Saturday evening slate, and that one's on Amazon Prime. Broncos at Bills, Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Bump. The number 1 seeded Lions were tops in points per game this year. We're not going to see them this weekend. Which of the teams playing this weekend was number 2 in points per game?
Points per game.
Points per game.
Can I look at the teams? Or do I have to
You can look at the teams.
Okay. I don't want to unfair advantage or anything like that, because that would be cheating. And I don't cheat, okay?
That's right.
Let's look at this schedule. Tops and points. I'm going to go with...
So number 2 in points per game.
Number 2 in points per game. Let's go with the Bills.
That is correct. It is the Bills. Curtis, your question is about the Broncos. It's multiple choice. If you want multiple choice, just ask for it.
Okay.
Which defense playing this weekend led the league in sacks?
Sacks. Huh?
Sacks.
I'm going to need multiple choice.
Okay, Denver is here. It's one of your multiple choices. Houston, Minnesota, or Denver?
I think it's the Vikings. They just had guys racking up the sack total this year. Final answer.
It's not.
Oh.
It's the Broncos.
Wow.
It's the Broncos section, Curtis. Next one. Oh, I gave you a point. Just kidding. Okay. 1-2. Bump. A chance to make it 3-1. You have an Eagles question, Curtis. You're going to have a Commanders question. Packers are facing off against the Eagles on Sunday afternoon. Then on Sunday night, the Commanders are taking on the Bucs. Bump. Saquon Barkley did not end up playing in Week 18, which is a bummer because he had a chance to break Eric Dickerson's regular season rushing record. Do you remember how many yards he needed?
He needed 100 of them things.
that your final answer?
Final answer. Why you doing me like that?
Bump.
105.
101.
101.
No.
Dang.
Wow.
Dang.
It's like the Titans, just a yard short. Curtis.
Kevin Dyson.
Jaden Daniels. I'll give you a little bit of time. Jaden Daniels, because it's not multiple choice, rushed for 815 yards this season. That set a new rookie record. The record for rushing yards by a rookie quarterback was previously held by whom?
Man, Michael Vick didn't start most of his rookie season, so I'm not going to lump him in there. And same goes for Lamar Jackson.
Bump, do you think you know?
I think so.
Do you want to guess before I say the answer?
Randall.
Well, wait first.
Oh, it's my question, Bump.
Oh, man. There you go. That's wrong, though. That's wrong.
This is me at trivia, where it's like, okay, now we're going to the next team, not your guys' team. And I'm like, 7. 7?
I am going to say.
Okay, so.
Since it's Commander's
rushing
trivia.
yards by a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think it is one Robert Griffin III.
That's
is.
it.
Yeah,
That's a
because
good
it's
one.
because it's
That's a good one.
Commander's trivia.
Commanders, yeah.
And he was a commander.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, he wasn't a commander,
He
actually.
wasn't, but
He was the other team.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
same color, same everything.
yes, very good guess. And you are correct. Unfortunately, Bump, I can't let you guess. I like this chiming in.
What
Lamar.
if Bump had gotten that right? How would we have scored it?
I would have been so mad.
You'd have to take it.
Yeah,
You know,
I
it's,
would.
it's my
I'm like,
fault
all right,
for
thanks,
speaking
Bob.
out of turn.
I just realized I forgot to add the. So I had these were long-winded, so I just scrolled down and realized I forgot a tiebreaker. So I.
Because I think we're tied right now.
No,
right?
I just invented a tiebreaker, and it's not sports related.
Okay.
I am so sorry. Next category is Vikings Ram Monday nights. Bump. Matthew Stafford and the Rams host the Vikings in Arizona on Monday night to close out Wild Card Weekend. The Rams are slight underdogs here. Stafford has appeared in 8 playoff games for 2 teams, 3 in 12 years with the Lions, and 5 in 4 years with the Rams. With which of those teams, though, did he get his first playoff win?
His first playoff win. That's a tricky one because you want to say the Rams because when he did his thing. But in Detroit. Oh,
No, you're doing a great job buying time.
I am. I'm gonna go Rams. I don't think he got one in Detroit.
Yes, you're correct.
Nice.
Curtis, you can tie it.
Here we go.
You can tie it. Again,
Let's
I don't
go.
have multiple choice for you, but I think that you'll know. Curtis, at 14-3, the Vikings have the most wins of any wild card team in NFL history. What a bummer. Imagine this being your 14-win season. You're a wild card. You got to go on the road to Arizona and face the Rams. The previous record holder was a 13-win wild card team. Now, good news for the Vikings because that 13-win wildcard team advanced to the Super Bowl in 1999. You're already nodding.
I got it.
Okay, who was it?
Music City Miracle, Tennessee Titans.
It
Shout
was
out
the
Mike
Tennessee
Lefko.
Titans.
Musica.
You guys are going to hate my tiebreaker so much. I can't
love it.
wait.
I love it.
Matt, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. You guys are going to start by going back and forth until one person stumbles or repeats. Beginning with Bump, naming. I wanted to do this one all season long. Horoscopes.
Horoscopes.
Oh, man.
Sagittarius.
Curtis.
Aries.
Bump.
Leo.
Curtis.
Taurus.
Bump.
Aquarius.
Curtis.
Scorpio.
Bump.
Gemini.
Curtis. Too long.
How many are there?
It's like 12, right?
I don't know. I just would have known if you said one
I
wrong.
think we got, what, like 6 or 7?
That's
Yeah.
pretty good for us.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us.
How much longer could you have gone?
That was it. I was done.
You didn't have another one ready?
Nah, I
You
was
didn't have like
done.
Pisces,
Nah,
like
that
at
was
the
it.
helm. Did you guys name either of yours?
Yes, I started with mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did I say Aries? I think
Yes, that's
it.
yours.
Yeah.
I know both of yours, just like I know both of your birthdays. But do you guys know my horoscope? Bump, that's your tiebreaker question. What's my horoscope?
Oh, no!
Wow. What's yours?
You know my birthday.
Yeah, but I don't do this. Let's
I'll
go.
give you a little bit of time.
Let's go with.
Oh, wow. I would not have
Matt
guessed
Matt
it.
is dying.
Did we say it?
I'm not telling you anything. Just try to think.
I'm capped out, though. That's
my
all I
birthday,
You got 1 in 12.
My birthday is May 31st.
I know this. It does nothing for me. Leo. What is it?
It's Gemini.
Oh, I said it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm going to make this one end in a tie. No one gets the win because I didn't do the right tiebreaker, and I don't feel fair doing that. That was for my entertainment.
I'm glad I lost that tiebreaker.
You wouldn't have had that ready?
No, would not have.
You guys.
What? I know mine.
I had a lot of fun.
I don't even know my
playing this
kids.
One. Huh?
I don't even know my kids' horoscopes.
I don't even know my wife's. Yeah.
I've got like a general overview. I really lose it when we get into like Libra territory. You know what I won't do is I have friends that'll be like, oh, what horoscope are they? And then you'll say, and they'll be like, oh. Like, I don't know what your horoscope says about
I always ask
I
people,
would
I'm
never...
like, tell me about myself. Like, what am I?
I have a friend that would not date someone based on a horoscope.
Really?
Which I think is insane.
That's silly.
That's a red flag.
That's
Missed out on
crazy.
love.
Yeah.
That could have been love.
Tripping.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Brian Walters is with us. How are you, man?
Weekdays 2 to 7.
For the next 3 years, I feel like I'm okay with Gino. What do you think?
I would be all on board with that. And so 1, he stays healthy. 2, he takes a beating. He sits in that pocket and he gets hit about every single pass play. And he gets up again and he's firing away. So Gino, to me, is a fantastic option to have back there.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
The Lee Johnson culture to me is empowering all of your employees to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. There are certain things that it doesn't matter what level of employment you are in our organization. If it's not the right thing or it doesn't feel right, they have the ability to take care of the customer and make the decision without asking a manager, without asking an owner. Yeah, the end result is they can speak to the customer with more confidence. They're definitely more confident in what they're trying to provide the customer, what the customer is trying to accomplish, and just giving them a better experience.
His name is Justin Meek. He's the leader and caretaker of more than 300 full-time employees for the Lee Johnson Auto family. Justin believes everything about doing the right thing begins and ends with Lee Johnson's company culture. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
Is a new kitchen in your plans? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. Rather than subcontractors, we have our own team of professional craftsmen who make it easy and comfortable to have the kitchen of your dreams in about a week and save thousands. Have us out and let us show you what a Heritage Homecraft custom refacing project looks like in your home. Give us a call, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Are you still dealing with a runny nose, congestion, or sinus drip this holiday season? Always having to clear your throat or cough? Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Rhinair is a simple, non-invasive procedure that significantly reduces your postnasal drip and stuffiness. A recent clinical study shows almost 9 out of 10 Rhinair patients get significant improvement in their symptoms. We're proud the Stern Sinus Center was named a nationwide center of excellence. Schedule your appointment in Federal Way, Auburn, or at sternsinus.com.
In between storms, have Asset Roofing inspect your roof just to make sure everything is okay up there. It's Bob Stelton here for Asset Roofing. It's a quick appointment that will most likely give you peace of mind and save you thousands of dollars later. Remember, you're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Head to AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Do you leave your car running unoccupied to warm up or stay warm during the winter? Don't do it. Car thieves call those steamers. They're watching for you and they'll steal your car before you know it. Every winter, Washington sees an uptick in auto theft, and a major reason is steamers. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. Don't get caught with your car running. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's what I need to know. So get any question you need to know the answer to into the Mac and Jack's text line, 866-979-3776. I have some sports ones. It doesn't have to be sports, though. Like one listener wants to know, hey, guys, I'm having a housewarming party tonight. I should be having about 10 to 12 guests. How many bottles of liquor? They said they currently have 5.
5 for 10 to 12
10
guests.
to 12.
I'd make it 6.
I think you're getting close.
Yeah.
And obviously it depends on your friend group.
Uh-huh. My friend group, yeah, you need about
Are they
6,
cougs?
7 of them things.
Yeah, are we talking where they go to school? You guys go to ASU? You'll need 10.
Yeah, you're going to need
You go to
one for
UW,
everybody.
you need freaking mimosas and something like that.
That sounds great. What I need
What's
to
wrong
know.
with a mimosa?
Yeah, mimosas are wonderful.
It's too bubbly. It's too
Not
bubbly.
bubbly enough.
You can't go hard on mimosas.
At least UW grads know what an island is.
Ooh.
Dang. Know
wow.
what an island is?
Wow.
Or where an island is.
Yeah, because that's true. It is an island.
Either.
I know lots of things, okay? I could teach you a few things, Matthew, okay? I know lots of things. I know
Yeah.
I know what
You want to give any examples?
I want to, I know
A single example.
Single example.
A lot of things. You don't need to know.
Lots.
What do you want
I
to
know
know?
Trump is trying to buy Greenland right now, okay?
Okay.
Right?
What else do you need to know? Ask any question.
This sounds like the tweet that's like, I need you to put it in the paper that I know things. I know things. Put it in the paper that I know things.
866-979-3776. I like this question. What I need to know, what is the Seahawks' most valuable trade asset right now?
DeKalen.
So.
It is. It's DeKalen.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that made me pause on DK a little bit is that the team that trades for him will immediately have to figure out a way to pay him. Whereas if you trade someone on a rookie deal, but DK, like it or not, has a body type that is exceptionally rare. That size-speed combo, even if you feel like, oh, he doesn't live up to it or he could be better. Like, they don't make people like that.
They don't grow on trees.
They don't grow on trees. Yeah, I think DK. I thought Devin Witherspoon, but positional value, I think DK outweighs him.
Yeah.
So, 866-979-3776. This person said they're on their way to the store to get 4 more.
Attaboy.
What I need to know. Why haven't the Mariners done anything? I don't know.
They scared.
Yeah.
They scared.
I think the only thing I can take from it is they have deals they wanted to get done that they couldn't, or people aren't biting at prospects that they want to trade, or they don't have money to spend. That basically, like, they maybe can't afford big ticket free agents, or lastly, that they have tried and someone didn't want to come here.
They're going to Big Lots. They're shopping at Big Lots. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Can I read one of the weakest comebacks I've ever seen on this text line?
Yes.
We don't drink at all, which means we'll get to see the whole game and not wake up hungover.
Ooh.
Got me.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm a nerd. I'm just kidding. Don't. That's it for me. If you don't drink, you don't drink.
Oh, it's all good. But
Yeah.
you got to do better than that one, though. Florida, 904.
What's the worst comeback someone ever said to you? I love an accidental cell phone, which that was not.
The ones
but-
where you don't have nothing to say, so you just mimic their voice. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I do that all the
That's
time.
great.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Oh, yeah? Well, I'm Curtis. Shut up. What I need to know. A very kind listener wants to know if your people down in SoCal are all right. You're from the area.
Yeah, they're good. I got family that is close to that area, but we're about 10 miles away.
Yeah.
We're pretty good.
Do you guys remember the nicest bathroom you've ever been to before, and where was it?
I can tell you the nicest airport bathroom was in Amsterdam.
Oh.
That thing was the cleanest. It was beautiful. Like, I just stood in there and just observed.
Yeah, nicest airport bathroom I've ever been in Salt Lake City. That's a really, really
At the
clean
airport? That
yeah.
airport is clean as hell.
Maybe the nicest, like, outside of an airport bathroom, like public bathroom I've ever been in, the Aria Hotel in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's immaculate.
Yeah.
What I need to know. Best board game.
Best board game. I'm a
Big on
Scrabble
board
dude. Does that
games.
count as a board game?
Yes,
Scrabble?
that's at board game.
Yeah. I love Scrabble.
I don't like Scrabble because while I think I'm smart and I literally majored in English, I am horrible at Scrabble. And I'll stare at these letters. I think the last time I played was like a download, like it was an app, and it was with Derek, and he was crushing me. And I just, out of nowhere, I went, I'm not stupid.
I was teaching
I needed to like defend
I
myself.
was teaching my son how to play, and he's like making full words with his letters. Like, oh, that's not how this works, son.
Wait, you mean he would say like
he has the
hello,
word
sir.
there. I'm like, no, you have to use what's on the board to
See,
make
that's
your
where I
word.
mess up. I'm like, well, I only have consonants. What do you want me to do? And it's like, no, you got to build off. Yeah. I don't need to brag about what I'm bad at on here. Let's see. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. Who would you want to see the Mariners add?
Anyone.
And I was going to say a body.
We need Curtis the DH.
A warm body.
Can he breathe?
Yeah.
He can? He is.
A human being.
Bring him here. 866-979-3776. Someone just desperately needs you to help them choose what to have for dinner tonight. They're between pizza or tacos.
Tacos.
That's Friday night, though. I think it's pizza night.
Where are the tacos from? Because I could eat pizza from almost anywhere.
Taco trucks. You got to find those
Yes.
taco trucks with the homies in there, with the music blasting, getting
What
after.
about a white person taco?
They can be
Go to
bomb.
the cut shop. I'm telling you, white people tacos, fire.
Yeah, we can do it up sometimes.
A little spicy, a little sour
Yeah,
cream.
ooh,
on it.
just a little
Taco
little
night,
kick.
hey, guys.
Ooh, put some taco seasoning on it. No, I'm pizza. Team pizza, like 99% of the time. Let's see. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. Would you rather? So not what you think is going to happen, but what would you rather see? The Seahawks go deep into the playoffs next season, or the Mariners go deep into the playoffs?
Man, Mariners.
I think the Mariners.
Because they don't do that.
Exactly. Like, if the Seahawks do not go deep into the postseason next year, I know I'm speaking before we see what the team looks like, but I don't know that I'll be deeply disappointed. I think they're more than a year away from being a Super Bowl team, is what I'm saying, but not more than a year away from being a playoff team.
Yeah.
The Mariners, I'm not stumped. I'm just kind of like, well, what are you doing?
Sounds like you're stumped.
Yeah. And so were they to go deep into the play? That was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
That wild card series was so fun. And it didn't even feel like a sweep by the Astros. It felt like they were in that thing. Like it was fun to watch that series too, even if it ended with heartbreak.
Yeah.
I would just love that opportunity again. So easy answer. All right, you guys, that will do it for us today. This has been Bump and Stacy. If you missed any part of the show, if you loved it so much, you just need to hear more, make sure you check out the Bump and Stacy podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, or seattlesports.com. For Michael Bumpus, Curtis Rogers, Matt Nelson, I'm Stacy Rost. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
John Morosi is here.
I think Arenado is at least as reasonable of a potential move than getting a hitter from Baltimore, just because I think the Cardinals are they're more motivated to move Arenado than the Mariners are right now with Castillo. I think he's a good fit with Seattle. He's a West Coast guy. The number of teams that have players that the Cardinals would want and might be able to make an exchange on the money side of things.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job